What up, people? My name is Louis Lee from All Ends Media, and this is Plan and Traffic, where we play with anything with gas. We got my man Ray in the house. We got Tammy.
Hello.
What up?
Hey, everybody. Good to see you tonight again, Tammy. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while since the last time I did it, but it was fun the first time I did it. I was super nervous. I'm not nervous now, but
Good.
the first time I was.
You're a veteran now. But you know what? We got a problem with you, Tammy.
Okay.
You were going live every Thursday when we were live here. So you couldn't come visit us because you were doing yours.
That's true. And you know what? I'm going to start, bringing back the lives again, but I will make sure not to do them on Thursdays.
Sounds
We'll
good.
change that up. Might start doing Tuesdays or something.
Good. Sounds good. So tell us what's new in your world.
So as a lot of people may have heard, I'm with Orion Automotive Finishes. We officially launched this past week. We have the website up. You can purchase all kinds of different things that we have on there. There's been a lot of effort put into developing the custom line. I developed the entire custom line of all the Constellation colors. We did the candies. We have a lot of different things that are going on between anything like ground up primers, epoxies. We actually even have 2 body fillers. We have 2 different body fillers. We have a bed liner. So we have a lot of things going on when it comes to paint.
Nice. Well, we know you are the professional at behind the scenes on the paint. So,
right.
What is the new hot thing that's out right now that you guys are putting out?
So we were at LST this past week, this past weekend, and a couple different trucks that were there kind of showcased some of the different colors. I would say the hot thing right now is probably the yellow that was on the one Toyota Mini, and then the bright blue that was supposed to be there, but that's been all over pictures. But this one specific orange that we did, it's an orange pearl, and it got a lot of attention. So those are pretty popular. Pretty soon we're going to have some jobs out there that are going to have the specific rocket red that I made. It's a different kind of rocket red that from previous, but it's super killer. It basically looks like a candy, and it's not a tri-stage. It's just a straight base coat. But it's probably the nicest red that I think I've made ever out of any red that I've made before.
Yeah, I was looking at it because remember I want to do my caddy in that
right.
pearl. So yeah, I was looking at that rocket red. It looks good.
Yeah, it's a killer color. It really is. And then usually you have to do, multiple steps, at least tri-stage to try to achieve something like that, which is not easily repairable. Costs a lot more money, a lot more labor. This one is just a straight base coat, but it's killer in the sun. It really is.
Well, that's going to work out good for me because I'm not a painter, so it helped me out not being perfect.
I mean, I know through history, colors and trends, or colors have been trends as well as graphic stuff. And besides the 80s, we know what happened then. I know the oranges and the oranges and like the peaches and apricots and all that stuff is hot. And I love that, the copper tones. But aside from that, is there anything else that's kind of trending right now that's hot color-wise?
Color-wise, to be honest with you, I don't know of one specific thing that is kind of like the one color. We all remember, SEMA gray, and everybody wanted whatever the gray was, whatever version of SEMA gray there was. And that was a huge trend for a little bit. That died down. No one asks me to make them destroyer gray or any of those grays anymore. But as of right now, there's not like a specific color that I feel is like trendy, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And that's a good question because they usually go in trends. But I can't think of one specific color right now that somebody else made famous that somebody wants and then a bunch of people want that. A lot of people always kind of stick with candy, and what I do, that's just kind of a big thing. Candies are super popular and that never really stops. But I can't think of one specific neutral kind of color that people want.
What do you think about the trend that many of the manufacturers are doing with these, I call them the flat, boring colors like cement and putty? What's your thought on that when you see those cars on the road?
So I always look at different, OEM colors, and I kind of judge them, and I look at some of them and I'm like, actually, those look really cool. Like some of them that they actually make are really intense. Yeah. I think when it comes to a car color, I think a lot of people go with something neutral just because it kind of maybe stays iconic and just the sense that you're not going to get sick of it maybe. This is coming from a person who drives a white Suburban. So I drive a white Suburban, not something, whatever, like it's white with black accents and stuff like that. But And most commonly in the entire world, white is the most sold vehicle in the entire world. So for colors that are sold, white being the most popular of all time, and it's never changed, I guess it kind of shows you that people kind of want that bland kind of color.
Well, I don't know. I had a white Monte Carlo back it was actually in the 80s. And I said there's two colors I'd never own again. And it was white and black because of the way they show dirt.
It's true.
Terrible.
And my favorite vehicle would be a black vehicle. And the only reason I didn't get black was because they had white available. And then when I saw the white and I accented it with black and changed all the emblems to black and the rims and everything else,
that's a good look.
Then I was like, you know what? It actually looks, especially with like tinted windows, it actually does look really good.
Sure.
But it's always dirty. That's just a problem. But if I had my way, I mean, I would drive, a Suburban that just has ridiculous graphics all over it. It's funny, people who paint cars and people who sell paint typically don't have the time for that. So everybody else might, but
I remember back in the early 2000s,
it'd be crazy.
I bought a Mazda and the color was called Winning Blue, and it's this beautiful metallic blue on the lighter side. I mean, I'd spot that car a quarter mile away. And my wife at the time was driving a silver car and said, God, everywhere I go, every car it was the silver days where everything was silver. And, you couldn't spot one from another. She goes, I could see your car everywhere. So, those splashes of color that hit the market at different times really make an impact. But I tell you, when I first saw, I think Subaru is doing it, and so is an Audi. When I saw those putty and slate colors, I was like, damn. Yeah. And even Toyota has one called Cement on the FJ. And I said, how uninventive could you be? It's like, color should be color, I think. And, I don't know.
Now, I will say cement gray is a little bit neutral or unique in the sense that it actually is a metallic and a pearl. So it's not just, one solid color. I know you can't really see it, but the color actually takes pearls. It actually even takes like a red pearl. So it takes a combination, but you can't really tell. But when it comes to something that's very popular, is even like a Nardo gray. So Nardo gray that they have on like VWs is popular on all kinds of things. People want to paint their vehicle Nardo gray no matter what it is. But I think that might be like a throwback to just kind of how, SEMA made that.
That's popular. Like going with, Guards red. Everybody wanted Guards red, the Porsche color. It was it was a great color. I have a color on my truck. Color on my truck is called midnight black or starlight black. There's literally little flakes of red, green, yellow
pearls. Yep, it's got pearls in it.
I mean, you don't see it until the sun hits it just right, and then you're like, wow, that's really cool. But
like Ford has that with tuxedo black. You look at it on some of the trucks that they have. Like it's on the F-150s and the 250s. It's just the black, but it has a combination of pearls that just make it have that flip to it.
Right.
Okay, I got a question for you. Sure. I've seen a purple. It was a flat color. I think it was a wrap. Now, is there paint that you can make that look, or is that just
the thing with wraps is, and I get this question every day, multiple times a day. I will be sent pictures that are clearly a wrap, and they are completely set on the fact that they are painting their vehicle this color. And the problem is that in the paint industry, they are not able to achieve a lot of what the ink is able to achieve when it comes to the wraps. They can do things in just a wrap that you couldn't even achieve if you were trying to do a tri-stage. So depending on the color, sometimes you can achieve the look that a wrap gives you, but a lot of times you cannot. And there was one that I was shown the other day, and it was purple, and it was this killer, like really nice purple. And then at the very end of it, like at the very corner, it just had this really hard pink pearl like flip to it. And no matter what you could try to do, you could not achieve that in automotive paint. No matter what you did, no tri-stage would have achieved what this angle brought you. So in some things, as sad as it is to say, because we don't want to see wraps take over, they are capable of achieving colors that paint just can't do.
Yeah, so I was thinking that it's probably the same purple too. It was like it was purple, but it had a flake and it looked almost a red tint to it.
Right. Yeah, and the picture I saw, like at the very end, I don't know if it was like around like the back bumper or whatever it was. It just had this killer like flip to it, and I was like, if I could make that would be super popular. But I even thought about how to do it. There is no way to achieve that look.
Yeah.
So they win. Wraps do win on some colors.
Yeah, and I don't really like the flat look, but that jumped out at me because it
Right.
like you said, it flipped. Yep.
Right. I think some colors, especially when it comes to wraps, they look really good matte. Some people even have the belief that if you want to, make your vehicle have that matte look, you should just wrap it. That way, when you get sick of it, you just take it off. And matte paint is very difficult to keep up with, very difficult to not fingerprint all the time. You have to use special cleaners with it. So there are some issues with that too.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Any questions in the chat?
Louis, what's the color scheme you're thinking of these days for the car?
That rocket red that she has that has like a pearl, a little bit of flake in it, but it's like that candy apple.
Yep, it's like a candy apple with a Zerillic pearl in it.
Now, I thought you were kind of going, or you were jazzed about the lowrider look. That custom, the custom, California. Is that still the kind of paint scheme you want to do?
Yep.
Wow. So you're gonna have more than that color. You're gonna have a lot of colors on there.
Yeah, and also gonna have Tammy throw a couple of little bigger flakes in there to
Actually, it would look really good if you probably threw. Did Spade has a really cool line. It's called their Crystal X line, and I saw it in gold in use on one of the trucks at LST. You have to do a tri-stage with it, but you can put it into like an intercoat clear and go over top of it. I'm pretty sure they have like a red one that would be neutral that you could put on top of it and give you that extra like kick that you're looking for.
Yep. I know you're the person to talk to.
Yeah.
So, are you going to have any events anywhere this year?
So we're planning. We've talked to, and this is going to be the first time I've said this in public. Just so you know, you're going to be the first. We've talked about having something called Orion Encounter, and it's going to be a paint class that is going to cover various different kinds of custom things in the industry, all in one kind of a class. Something I had done in my prior time, but I want to try to change it up this time a little bit even better. It would take place in Texas. And we're thinking about it happening in June. So we're thinking about that, limiting it to maybe about 75 to 100 people. Haven't quite decided, which amount of people yet, but keeping it around there and doing everything, whether it be collision, all the way up to any kind of, custom things that there are. So it's not going to be as big as what I had done in, my past, and not as many classes. I want to focus more on being really good on some of those specific classes. And it's just a really cool thing because when you actually do them and you do them well, people who have no skills can actually, in 2 days, kick out some work that looks professional level. So when you have, really, really good teachers, that will help. So that's one thing that we're focusing on. I'm going to try to hit up different car shows and different things this year. I want to make a big presence doing that. LST was a blast. I had wanted to go for years and I had never had a chance to go. And now that I live in Texas, it was really cool. I think the next big one I want to go to is Battle of Bama, which is going to take place in Mobile, Alabama. And that's a huge show. So I think that's one I'm going to go to. So I'm going to, put on that one class, I believe, in June. But I want to also be able to travel around and do some of these different actual, large car shows too.
Nice. I wish I could have made it to your last event. This year, I'm going to really concentrate on going to like my friends' events. You know what I mean? So I'm going to really try to get down there because last year was just so bad with COVID and, things went south.
For sure.
But this year is going to be my mission to hit my friends, try to support everybody that helped me out.
For sure. And I think a lot of people are, one. So August, but in Texas where I am, the shows basically never stopped. People just constantly but in many places in the entire country, they stopped having car shows. They stopped having get-togethers. So I know people are eager to get back to that.
Yeah. What part of Texas are you in?
So I'm in Sugar Land is where I'm at, which is about 20 minutes from downtown Houston. So it's like a suburb of Houston. So so LST Lone Star Throwdown actually happened in Conroe, which is about an hour from me. But a lot of stuff happens in Houston. It's really a very centralized focal point for a lot of what's happening, when it comes to low riders, when it comes to, just specific custom paint jobs, candy paint jobs, things like that.
Nice. All right. You got to ask anything, Ray? Because we'll let the fellas in if.
Yeah. Let's get some.
Okay.
Let's get some fresh blood here.
Hey, Tammy, we really appreciate you coming on, though. Really.
No problem. Thank you for asking.
Hey guys. Hi Tammy. How you doing?
Hey,
Tammy, how are you doing? Good seeing you again.
Been a while.
Hey, watch out for Brian. He might explode something at a moment's notice, so just be careful. I'll tell you about it later. Don't worry.
Website. What's the website?
The website is orionautomotivefinishes.com.
No, I'm good.
I have to forward that to my body guy.
Over here.
He used to buy from you.
Tammy, sorry.
Hey.
How you doing?
Hey, how are you? Good. How are you doing?
Doing good.
Very cool.
Heidi, we can't see you.
I know.
She came over for a second.
I'm just gonna go work in a minute.
Okay.
We need to get some other women over here so you can just squeeze in.
I'll be right back then.
So I wanted to ask, is it a waterborne, or can you explain some of the some about the paint?
Sure. So no, it's not waterborne. It's all solvent based. It's not like a low VOC or anything like that. It's just a traditional solvent based system. It's all acrylic, urethane based. We do everything from 2 different fillers that go all the way up to primers, epoxies, clears, base coat, candies. We do everything. So it's not much different than a lot of, what's in the industry when it comes to solvent-based paint. But the only thing that I try to change, with the team is, just kind of making really cool custom colors that were a little bit different than things I had already done, kind of perfect what I had already done. I guess when you do something the second time around, you kind of fix some of the things that maybe you would have done differently to begin with. So I really feel like, right. And I feel like I streamlined the custom color line amazing. When it comes to coverage specifically, where I came from, had good coverage, but these have phenomenal coverage. The paint system is really, really good. It's a really high-end system. Who actually is the president of the company is a woman named Leslie Freed. And her entire background actually comes from OEM. So she came over here with Axos. She's worked with Speed. She's worked with Axalta, which was DuPont back then. She built the entire line for Imron Elite. She did all of the colors for GM when it comes to their fleet. So when it really comes down to it, we're going to be nailing OEM much better than a lot of people just because of her experience in creating all of the OEM for many, many companies. So in the industry, she was actually known for establishing all of that and having the very best prime versions and variant versions when it comes to the OEM industry.
Nice.
And
I got all my notes right here, so I'm gonna be asking a bunch of questions if you don't mind.
You're fine. You're fine.
I don't want to steal the show, but I want to ask a couple of questions because I'm really interested in this stuff.
Sure.
What about the prices? Because we use nothing but Axalta or DuPont Chroma base. It used to be, but Lily, stop. We use nothing but that brand. And what is it compared to as far as like Axalta? Is it like spraying the same stuff?
So, yeah, I mean, a lot of the systems, depending on what you're used to, are kind of similar, for being honest. Some people have preferences in different things. Some of the clears will spray different. All chemicals formulated differently can produce different end results. In the end, you're going to get to the same place. You're looking for a perfect job. But sometimes they can function a little bit differently. When it comes to Axalta is a good line. It's just a very expensive line. So price-wise, Orion's going to come nowhere near the price of Axalta. We're talking every single color is basically $5.10 a gallon. And I made it that simple so that no one ever really has to worry about what the price is. So no matter if it's OEM or it's custom, it's $5.10. So when it comes to like a gallon of paint, every gallon of paint, no matter what it is, would be $5.10 a gallon.
Yeah.
So if you're buying Axalta, for instance, you could have ones that are 1,000, 1,500, depending on the color, the code,
right,
how much pearl, what it is, it varies. So to keep all of it very simplistic, it's all the same price. So price-wise, it's more than half the cost of what Axalta would be.
Nice. I remember in the 80s when you can get PPG and it was like $40.
Yeah, a gallon.
Someone
I paint.
just made a
both of my Pro Street cars paint. They were lacquer. Okay, so it was some PPG stuff, and it was House of Color. And then everything else that went with it, and the white one had some pearl mixed in with it also over the white, and including the labor, it was $3,200. Bodywork, labor, paint, sand it, buff it, send it down the highway. Both cars painted 2 years apart. My body guy charged me the same price on both, $3,200.
There was a post in my group earlier before I did the live, and it was, tell me you're old without telling me you're old. So you kind of just did that.
Yeah.
yeah.
But we can keep going all night too. You want to?
It was in the 80s. One was in 80 and one was in 82.
Wow.
I wasn't even born yet.
Wow.
Yeah. Here's the weird thing. The black car, which was GM Corvette PPG black and silver base and 3 different colors from House of Color, a pink, an electric blue, and like a grape. And I got that car back 5 years ago, and the guy said about 8 months before he gave the car back to me, that paint started to check and crack. And that was painted in 82.
That's nuts.
So it was pretty amazing that paint lasted from 82.
And that's the thing, though. Like, honestly, when you look back at old paint jobs versus even what they do right now, people always say, technology changed. But I feel like paint jobs lasted a lot longer then than they even tend to now.
Yeah. It was weird.
I think everything did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, your appliances did, your dishwashers, your refrigerators, everything lasted longer back then.
Everything's made to fail now. Though.
As a side note, we just recently had to buy a wash machine. So my wife and I are in PC Richards. I hate going in there because I hate salesmen. And the guy, the young guy is like, so just tell me what I can show you. What can I show you? What can I sell you? I said, take me to the section where everything's from 1984. I said, then I'll buy something right now. So he points out a few things. I said, okay, we'll look around. He's low pressure. Grabbed my wife over to the side. I said, okay, the 3 he showed you, don't look at them. Don't even go near them. And she's like, why?
Nothing he recommended.
I'm like, because those are either the 3 that he wants to get rid of because they're dogs, or he's making the most money on them, or there's a problem with them. I said, no, we're going to look at everything else. She goes, wait, you really don't like this guy? I'm like, I don't know. I said, listen, it's not that. It's just I know how salesmen work.
You're right.
That's funny.
Tammy, with your paint or with this paint, is there any specialty with like pressure or nozzle tips or anything like that way, or is this comes down to whatever the guy likes and what he has? There's nothing special with that, or just a run of the mill stuff. Nothing special.
It's a good question. So a lot of times, most paints are designed to be where they can work no matter what equipment you have, but you just have to adjust your settings and things like that. So in the industry, when it comes to base coats or clear coats, anywhere between a 1.2 and a 1.4 is going to be ideal. Most people in the industry now stick with it. They want. This is like over his head. So most people like to stick in the industry right now between a 1.2 and a 1.3. 1.3 becoming most common. I remember whenever I was a lot younger and I was in the industry, basically everybody used a 1.4, and that was just kind of what everybody used.
Are we talking 1.4 millimeter hole? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, it's like the size.
The nozzle.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm not lost anymore.
Right. That's why he hires people to do his work.
Right.
I'm a welder and a chassis builder. I'm not a body guy.
There you go.
I can work with fiberglass and carbon fiber and steel, but I'm not the guy that makes it look pretty.
You're pretty good with cannoli and pizzas too.
I'm really good at that.
Yeah. Pastrami. Yeah.
I'm the guy that builds it. I send it to the guy that makes it look pretty.
Right.
Well, that's cool too. We need builders too. But when it comes to the PSI, that's going to be dependent a lot on the actual gun you're using. So I always tell people, follow whatever you're using. If it's in a water or a solder, even if it's like a Black Widow from Harbor Freight, follow those rules of what the gun was designed for, and then adjust it from there if you don't like the way it's spraying. And typically it's, you always have to increase the pressure if you don't like how it's spraying.
Spray out's a king.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
What about as far as your all your colors and primers and clears? I mean, do you have everything on your website? Is everything ready to go, or is everything still in the beginning stages, or is this like a full blown production deal right now where I could call you up and order whatever color tomorrow, or have something made?
Yeah, so you can call and you can order. We've been inundated since we actually launched, so we're planning on trying to get everything out next week when it comes to shipping. But yeah, we have everything ready to go, and working on shipping and getting everything going, and a lot of mixes. There's been a lot of different things being called in. I kind of am known for making special colors for people, like when they want that. I had a lot of people hit me up trying to get that done prior to the launch, so I've been working a lot on that too, and kind of clearing my time on that. But yeah, if you wanted, anything, the only thing we don't do right now, this second, is single stage colors where we're doing them to match. That's the one thing we're not doing. That's to come. But when it comes to base coats, you can call us on a 1950 GM, or you can call us on a 2021 Toyota, or whatever it is, and we can actually do the color.
All right. And then as far as like your high build primer, you have like, what is it, the Evercoat or whatever, and you have to let it sit for a couple days, and then you go to sand it, and the stuff's really sticky, and it drives me crazy. And I use Showcar Finish Monster Fill 500, and that's what I use for my high build primer. And the stuff literally, like, I could walk in the next morning after putting 3 thick coats on it, walk in the next morning and start block sanding everything out. And like the Evercoat, it'd be so sticky, your sandpaper would be all stuck and whatever. Is it anything like that where it's really good on your materials that you're using as far as like your sandpapers and whatever? I mean,
there is. So there was a guy who did a test the other day. He used another brand's primer, and then he used the one that we have. He did 2 different pieces, spraying it with one brand and then the Orion brand, using the exact same sandpaper, and showed how the other one was, powdering up well, but it was powdering a little too much to where it was starting to always have to be blown off. And it started to get to a point where it destroyed the sandpaper. When he was sanding the Orion, he showed the actual sandpaper's disc. It didn't have any residue that he had to blow off. It had no, over powdering. And then when he was done with that piece, he could actually go on to the next piece and not have to change the sandpaper. So to me, when it comes down to what is a really good primer, it's how well it sands. Number one, that's a focal thing. It has to be how much it sands. The fact that it doesn't clog your sandpaper, and how long you can actually use the same disc of sandpaper for. So when a primer becomes really difficult to actually sand, it makes you burn through your sandpaper material even faster. And if you're using super expensive, like 3M sandpaper, for instance, saving money on primer might not matter when you're burning through your expensive sandpaper. So this
comes out in the wash.
Right. So this actually sands really, really good. And it has killer build. It's 65% solids. And it comes in 3 different colors. And it actually performs really, really nice.
And what about as far as, do you have any problems with it shrinking as far as, like starting to show sanding marks and everything the next day when you got color over the top of it?
Right. So in any of the tests that we've done so far, and we've been testing it for a while now, we haven't seen any shrinkage issues. You can always have minimal shrinkage in anything depending on how you apply it. And a lot of people don't realize that sometimes shrinkage isn't necessarily the product. Shrinkage is sometimes the way that the product is applied, how quickly it's applied. If flash times aren't followed properly, that can actually make something shrink that would not normally. So sometimes when you see a guy swear up and down that what he's using is not shrinking, but then you see another guy say, no, this stuff is crap, it shrinks really bad. A lot of times that can have to do as well with how it was applied versus the other person.
If the water's too cold.
Look, I'm going to be the guy. You're talking to a screen full of guys here, and I know what every one of you was thinking. Everyone was thinking the same thing. I know.
I caught the smirk, and I didn't say nothing, man.
I'm so used to you guys. I was just like, okay.
Just do it. Just go for it.
Yeah, I don't know what shrinkage means.
Yeah, right.
So
Show
shrinkage is not like whenever you get into like a really cold pool. We're not talking that kind of shrinkage. That's not what we're talking about. So
That's
so,
actually
I-
helpful
It's
because
dramatic like that.
it
but it's not that
gets hard
dramatic.
to hide.
I mean,
Hey.
I'm around guys all the time. I'm just going to go for it. But basically, what it means is that the product itself starts to pull away from the surface, and it starts to show what was underneath it. So, for instance, if you sanded a surface with 80 grit, which is very aggressive in the industry, and you were to spray primer over top of it, and that primer was so thick it could bury those 80 grit scratches, as the solvent is evaporating out of the actual product, then you still only have the resin left. Well, what happens is if that product starts to shrink, it will draw those scratches back and you'll see them. And the only way, and that's what shrinkage means in the industry, whenever you can see what you covered prior. And you won't see it right away. It happens over time because the curing process happens slowly. So as it continues to cure.
So that's the rate of solvent evaporation that's
correct. So everything has solvent when it comes to paint. It depends on how much. The solvent, the solids content comes from the solvent to resin ratio. So how much solvent is going to evaporate out during the cure process. The initial cure process is over 24 hours. That's when the most solvent's going to leave. But 30, 60, 90, for 90 days, solvent is still leaving a paint job. After that time frame, it's out, and then you have a fully cured system. But it does take a while, and even on fresh paint jobs, even 60 days later, you know, if you get real close to it, you can still smell the gassing off that paint does.
What about, is it direct to metal, the primers?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So they're direct to metal. We also have a epoxy, which is pretty unique. It's a really nice epoxy. You can use it as a wet on wet sealer. Sometimes when you use epoxies wet on wet, you can have dieback issues from the top side as it's curing out. This one, you don't have that issue. But it's also 65% solids as well. So if anybody's wanting that really, really high build epoxy, we have that option as well. It's only in gray.
And you guys only do paints, right? I mean, you don't do like fillers and sandpapers?
We do two fillers. So we do two fillers. We have a filler that basically replaces like a Z-grip. So if you want that anti-corrosive, kind of like a Z-grip property filler, we have that. And then we have our premium that's kind of like a replacement to a Rage Gold. So if anybody knows right now, though, you know, the most expensive, you know, Rage Gold's kind of going for about $96 a gallon. Ours is $56.95. So we tried to make it where it was a lot less money than what the competition was.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And Heidi was asking about the setup time on the primer. And on the primer. Cool.
So the primer in proper temperatures, and remember, everything when it comes to paint has to do with proper temperature. So as long as it's above 75 for it to cure the way it needs to, and or flash and dry the way it needs to, people have been sanding on it in right over an hour. So you have the ability to do it that fast. Humidity matters too. Humidity slows all of that down, and it actually can make paint hates humidity. It hates moisture in general. So it can actually have issues just with the curing process. It can rob from the calisation process. And it can also cause things to blush when that would not normally happen too.
Right.
And what are the three colors on your primer?
So we do gray, white, and black. The gray is like a traditional automotive gray. It's not a light gray. It's a little bit on the darker side. You are able to take all three of those colors and intermix them to create your own, you know, value shade, if you want to do that. So if you want to have a lighter gray or darker gray, if you want to take the black and lighten it up, you can do that too.
Rat rod gray.
Well, I had the problem with my Mustang. It was dark metallic blue or night mist blue in '66, and I had it painted twice because I bought the Ford paint, but when they laid it, it didn't look the same, and it came out because they had the wrong primer underneath of it because it was more of a greenish color primer. That was originally on there. And if I ever paint the car, that's what I want to try to find. I just didn't know if that was not so common, or does anybody really understand what I'm talking about? Because some people look at me like I'm crazy.
No, I do. But a lot of times what that has to do with more than anything is the coverage of the paint system itself. So when you have a paint system that covers well, your ground coat becomes less like it doesn't matter as much if you have coverage. Now on colors, like I kind of specialize in when it comes to the custom end of it, they have to kind of remain slightly transparent to kind of have all that pearl effect. but you have to have the right balance between that and coverage. So when it comes to having a color where the underneath matters and it makes the color look different, it typically is because the actual color itself didn't have enough coats or didn't have proper coverage. If you could achieve proper coverage in 3 coats, you can have colors that you can spray over white, black, and gray, and you cannot tell the difference whatsoever. So it really matters when the coverage isn't there, and that's when you can tell that the color is different.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I know the second time I had the car painted, well, I mean, we went through a lot of paint because I just kept saying that's not the right color, and it just didn't have the same, because it was a kind of a weird color, as in between blue and a little bit of purple, and of course black. You know, it just did the way it laid. And finally, I took it to the guy, and he goes, "Well, you've been using the wrong primer. You're supposed to use this." It was like a greenish, greenish. I don't want to say gray, but it was a light green. I guess almost like the color of this file cabinet.
It was DP. It was probably DP epoxy. DP epoxy back in the day was that color green. That's probably what it was. But again, if you're using like a really good system, the coverage could be there if the paint itself covered, and it wouldn't matter as much what's underneath it. If you want that color and you decide that one day you want to redo it, we can make you that color.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I would love to have that color, and we'll hopefully have that done.
Julio.
Maybe our next little group gathering, we can do that. But I would love to have that with a little bit more pop. You know, when the sun hit it, and that's I think that's where your specialty comes into it. But
Brian, no, the luminescence from your smile, if the car is painted, is going to be more than anything paint could do. Trust me.
Oh my God!
Yeah, but I hate to say it though.
I know, because I just went through it with my own car. Every time I look at it, I just smile and say, "Holy shit!"
Well, the funny part is, I hate to say this, as much as I love the color blue of my car, and everything is blue that I have, unfortunately, I'm really digging that slate gray stuff that on the Audis. So I have a hard time.
What's the boring stuff that you guys were complaining about?
Who knew?
Gray
I know a guy.
with
You know what I'm saying?
orange pinstriping.
Well, you're right, John. Orange or lime green on that can really make it pop.
That would look.
Maybe
really
I'll
good.
do my Audi that way, and now I'll get that out of my system.
Right.
Audi's got the orange on the new R8 is really cool.
Oh yeah.
My customer's got one of those.
So Vino Rat Rod was asking Heidi,
California.
could you sell it in California?
So it can be sold in California depending on the counties that you live in, the areas that you live in, and what you're doing. So if you're somebody who is, so if you're,
it's the same freaking air if you're on the West Coast or the East Coast, north or south. But
and you paint the car. What do you think you're doing? Yeah.
Pelosi's got to have her little different flavors.
Only in the state of California, according to all safety labels, does paint cause cancer. Only in California. So,
so does straws.
You're fine.
So do toothpicks. So does everything.
So does air.
I got finished building a '67 Camaro for a guy last year, and every single box that had parts in it that came from China or wherever, Holly fuel injection. This product can cause cancer. I talked to my Holly guy. I'm like, "What's the story?" He goes, "It's cheaper to just print it on every fucking box."
Right.
I'm like, all right, I got it.
So here's my take on that. They got rid of all the straws in California. They got rid of the 6-pack containers. But I wonder how many masks are floating around in the parking lots in California.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, they're everywhere.
Here you go. An AC Delco. This is a brake pins, and it's got a top 65 warning on the back.
Yep.
The brake pin's going to cause cancer too.
Manufacturers have decided it's just part of the packaging.
Yeah,
fuck California.
It's easier.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Done.
So to go back to the question of fully answering it, if you're a do-it-yourselfer, if you're a guy who doesn't spray over a certain amount of paint a year, you are allowed to use a fully solvented system. If you do antiques or restorations, you're allowed to use a system. If you were a tech school, they are completely exempted from the rules. But if you're a collision shop and you're spraying every single day, you would have to use a system that is low VOC. And if you don't, the people from all those different companies will come after you and actually shut you down and fine you and do all kinds of things.
The air
It's
Nazis.
so stupid.
Right, the air Nazis.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to keep logs. You know, when you're
No
in California,
paint
you have
for
to keep
you.
logs.
Honest to
Of what
God,
you're using.
when I was right after high school, I was in auto industrial, and you'll probably hear me talk about auto industrial all the time. That's where I bought all my paints. And they were saying that all the paint shop guys came in there and they were buying paint cups and measuring devices and all this crap because they were saying California made it a law that if you were painting a car or truck or bus, whatever, in certain counties, every single drop, if there was a drop that went on the floor, it had to be marked down.
Wow.
It was that bad.
Wow.
It got so
Well, I mean,
stupid.
I mean, it's so bad to where you can't even like have your car disassembled for 24 hours in like San Bernardino. You can't do basic car work without it being
Yeah.
assembled back in that time frame. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Even in a closed garage?
Yes, they have rules where it specifically states if you're doing that, then they think that you're actually like a business and you're working on things, and they want you to go take that somewhere else. You as an individual cannot have it knowingly disassembled that long.
Thank God I live in
There's something like with flat tires.
Florida.
Yeah, if you have flat tires or no registration, you have to have your car tarped. And then if it's tarped for so many days, you have to have it moved after so many days.
Yeah.
And then if you have the wrong color fence, the wrong looking dog, this, that, whatever.
You got an ugly
If you have
wife
too many
and a-
people siphoning gas out of your car in the middle of the night, I mean, it's the stupidest place in the I lived there all my life. That's why I'm saying this. So
And then he moves here. We have no rules.
yeah,
We
there's
have,
no rules here. And there's no rules here, and they let me here. Just go
because you own the whole town. That's why there's no
South End.
we own the south side. We're the south siders.
It's-
Here you
yeah,
go.
it's-
There's our gang side, you know.
I tried. I'm not really good at gang signs.
they live in a town with like 50 people, and they own the
200.
biggest piece of property.
200. We own 200.
Oh,
His sister
200,
actually owns
okay.
the most property in the city
200.
limits. Oh wait, my mom owns the most property in the city limits. His
Geez,
sister.
the little
it's
one and a half
it's
square
still
mile town I'm in
family.
has 10,000 people in it.
So the other question I want to ask Tammy is, so back in high school or whatever, Orion Paints, it was automotive paints. Orion Paints, they were all over the place, and then they just kind of disappeared. Is this the same Orion Paints, or is this a
No.
completely different company?
Completely different. So Leslie Freed is the one that actually named it. It's in reference to her father. He was an astronomer. And it was kind of like a throwback to just like, tribute to him. So it
Very
has to do with
cool.
the Orion constellation in space. That's what it has to do with.
That's epic.
That's
I like
neat.
that. That's one of the few ones I can find when I'm sober.
Yeah, it's actually whenever it's it's like whenever it's not cloudy and you look outside, you can typically see that one constellation. It's pretty
Yep,
cool.
because the three stars in a row, Orion's belt. That's the easiest one. Up here, the big difference. Is the easiest one to find.
What about what was the other
Turn on
question?
the AC. It's hot here.
Oh, I don't even want to hear it. It's 8 below right now.
It's Florida. It was like
Hey, it warmed up.
88 degrees
Oh, it
today.
is. It was 21. Well, it was actually 26 below this morning.
It's gonna
It was
be
80. It was
It's gonna
80
be like
in Texas.
89 tomorrow. Yeah.
You
Texas
guys are
is
no
awesome.
fun.
Florida's awesome.
You're no fun.
Yeah, my friend just told
Sorry,
me in
I
North
don't
Carolina
deal
today
with
it was
negative
82.
44.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't understand why you guys live there.
Yeah.
So
Because
Tammy,
we own the whole town.
how do you
Okay.
how do you become a dealer for Orion Paints?
So there is a form that you can fill out online, and you can submit an entry to be able to be accepted. Jobber program is something that we're going to do, and we are eventually going to release mixing banks and do all the OEM colors for shops as well. That's to come. So we're not looking to do a jobber this very moment, but by this year, probably maybe the middle of the year, we're going to be full-fledged starting to look for jobbers throughout the entire country.
Cool.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Are you gonna have those big giant racks with those little mixing things?
Yeah, so we have that now for
That
ourselves.
is so cool.
I know. I want one.
I love it. Whenever I see
I
that
love
on TV,
big
the
giant
guy
racks.
walks into his paint room and he's got like 600 cans and they're all spinning.
Yes. Yeah, and we have to
Pulls it
have it.
out.
I have to turn it on every day for 15 minutes.
Yeah. Well, where we live, it's important
So,
to have that.
People will be able to get those and mix their own paint.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
cool. Yeah, we live. Well, there is a paint shop 40 miles from us. So, but yeah, they're good. Yeah.
Oh, Auto Bay?
Auto Value.
Yeah.
They do a pretty good job.
You
Well,
probably
just
know
the
my
one
paint
paint.
guy. He's been buying stuff from you when you were in the other company.
Prior. Who was it?
Raleigh Carpenter, RC
Oh,
Custom.
Raleigh is awesome.
Yeah,
Raleigh a shout out.
he's my guy.
He's a good guy.
He's awesome.
He does good work.
I texted him because I didn't know if he knew, and he was making fun of me. He's like, "You just
He's
found
in
that
my-
out? She's been working it for a while now."
He's in my group. Like, he knows. We're friends on Facebook too.
Yeah, oh, there you go. Yeah, he's the guy that's doing both of my cars.
Very cool. He does
He's
good work.
awesome. This guy's
So
the
Tammy,
best.
I don't know if you've been following me, but I'm building a school bus into an RV.
Awesome.
And I'm gonna need some paint, but I don't care what color it is. If you have some mistakes,
As long as they equal purple.
So we could throw all colors together, and that would make you brown. But I'm pretty good about not making mistakes, so I don't have that. But we'll work out a good deal on some paint for you.
No, he wants a
Right.
lot of
There's a lot
different
of paint.
colors because he's going to make it just like the Partridge Family bus.
Hey, I'll roll it.
That's
I love
cool.
That's
Partridge
cool, though.
Family.
Yeah, me and my wife are going to retire in 2.5 years, and I conned Arco into coming here to Ohio to cut my roof off, and we lifted it 18 inches last month.
Wow, that's cool.
Arco and the fellas came in. It turned into a big event.
project.
It was
Yeah.
a
It
blast.
sounds like a big project.
Yeah,
They made it look so easy. I was absolutely positive I was going to have a panic attack, but then they made it look easy. There's a couple times I was like, I'm going to go outside. But,
What
the Iron
professionals
Horse
do.
guys,
It was all the Iron Horse garage guys. They
And,
were the ones. They were all like,
oh, what? They use jack stands. They act like they all like, yeah, we're big fat dudes. They use jack stands. Anyways, but yeah, and then Paul Lyons and Tyler from Longshot.
Speaking of Paul Lyons, he's actually asking me right now on my phone because he won't go on here and ask. But he was asking, will the Roth metal flake mix with the clear coat that you guys have? Which that should be yes, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so anybody's metal flake will mix with an intercoat clear. We have an intercoat clear. So yeah, you can use anybody's brand and it will have no issues whatsoever.
Right on.
Do you have that big metal flake like they put on the bass boats?
So I don't have it, but I work with different vendors. Like they mentioned, Roth is a good one. Sparkle Effects did Spade.
Paint Huffer.
Paint Huffers, yeah, they've been in the industry
Paint
for a while.
Huffer? That's the name
That's
of the
what they're-
company?
It is.
Yeah.
It's called Paint Huffer Flakes. They've been around for a while. And then there's a company called
Tell me the
CFK
logo
that
is some like clapped out dude with stains under his nose.
The logo, I think, is like a what is it? Like a like
paper
mask.
bag.
No, it's like a mask, like if you were like in a bomb shelter or something. I don't know, like to not breathe in fumes or whatever.
Oh God. Like a gas mask.
Yeah, like an old school vintagey one though. That's
Yeah. I used to have one of those and a Geiger counter from Civil Defense. My uncle
I
from
have one.
New York City got me that stuff. Said it fell off a truck, and we used to go around, and it was the counterpart was like a microphone, and you could go like if you put it by your watch, it would start going crazy because the stuff that they use to make the numerals glow is actually radioactive.
I would just get one and go grocery shopping with it. If people want you to wear just start like not wearing a mask, just start wearing something like that. I don't wear a mask.
Yeah, well, like
anyway,
back in like 1981, I had my 70 Firebird at the Carcraft Street Machine Nationals East in upstate New York, and I brought that mask, and they took a picture of my friend hanging out of my car wearing that actual old school gas mask, and it was in Carcraft magazine. They were like,
that's cool.
All right, we're putting that in the magazine. Yeah. So I don't know where that thing wound up, but it's probably by now it would probably be rotted because that rubber doesn't last forever.
Right.
Yeah. Those were the days.
Anybody else have any other questions?
Trying to see if there's anything online here.
No.
Come on, people in the chat. I know you got some questions. We roll back up. Well, So Tammy, are you painting anything for you guys? Like you and your husband doing anything special, custom?
Not right now. I still have to get my Lincoln done. I have a 63 Lincoln that's in Virginia.
Like that, John?
63.
Exact same one. Exact same one. Except it had the red, white, and blue CD logo on it.
Oh wow, look at him. He actually
there it is.
find it.
That's it, dude. That's the exact same one. My uncle said, yeah, it fell off a truck.
How about a dosimeter?
Well, that's nice.
Sounds
This
like
guy's
crap.
got everything in his basement. He has everything.
Yeah.
Tammy,
fall off
listen.
of a-
Anything we talk about, Ray has it
He's
in his
got
basement.
one.
It's a
Obviously,
nuclear rate meter.
Oh my god.
you might need to save that for the future.
Yeah, you
am.
better tune those things up because the way things are going, that may be.
You
I
might
found
need
a guy
that.
upstate who can. I got to get these respect. It's like $60 a pop, and they'll certify them.
Right.
Wow.
So I'm
I was
sending them out.
talking to my wife today. I said, if Crazy Man pushes the button, I don't think I got to worry about anything. He's going to go after New York and California and Detroit. He's not going to send anything to Tampa.
Well, he just nuked something tonight. I think
Yeah.
that the biggest nuke plant in Ukraine, he hit tonight.
Oh, wonderful.
My wife just
Wow.
told me about it before I came down here.
It's nuts.
Wow.
That's
Sad.
not good.
We have to
No.
Yeah, I'm
figure
in the
it
spot.
out.
I'm 30 miles outside of DC, so I'm.
Yeah, there
I'm
you go.
target.
Oh,
There's
and
your
where-
first. There's your first target.
And
Yeah.
where I am too, Brian and me probably overlap like a Venn diagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
I'll meet you for the barbecue somewhere around, I don't know, Ocean City. We'll
Hey,
bring
Tammy,
hot-
you said you're in Texas, Tammy, or no?
Yeah, I'm right outside of Houston.
Okay, because Paul was saying you're in Virginia, but
Used to
I
be.
was. I left.
okay, yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah. So I left in I moved here in August.
Yeah, because Paul's moving to Texas also.
Texas is rad. I love Texas. It's probably
Yeah.
the best thing I've done in a long time. It's
I've gotten a lot of
state.
trouble in Texas.
It's so
I'm sure.
big.
It is. It's like 889 miles across or something like that.
That's big. It's just.
But the
takes
speed
forever.
limits are so fast here. It's like if you're not going 90 all the time, this is my state. This is definitely my state when it comes to speed.
Sounds
So
like
yeah.
Florida.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like that here in
California,
Florida.
exactly.
The speed limits are 70 and 75, but everybody's going 85, 95,
Oh yeah, for
100.
sure. I remember that when I'm from Florida. I remember that when I was there. If you're on 95, if you're not going like 100, 90 to 100, you're slow. You're too slow.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell us about your 63 Lincoln.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
I have a
Suicide doors.
Oh yeah.
My dad had
Naturally,
one.
this suit. Yeah. So
Dark,
it's been
dark
like
blue with white leather interior. Bad
super
car.
cool.
Yeah.
So mine came from Texas, actually, not when I was here, but it was delivered to me from Texas originally when I was in Virginia. It's white, like the pearl factory white color that they were. It got stripped at one of the events I had. They actually stripped it with razor blades, which was awesome of them. And then it's sitting in some primer right now, and it's in a garage. But my intention is to have the entire body redone. I'm blacking out everything. I want to delete all the chrome and make everything black. And then bag it, do like all kinds of custom stuff to it. So
Right.
I want it to be crazy. I want the roof to have like monochromatic lowrider patterns on the top of it. So I want
Nice.
to do like flake,
Yeah.
but do it kind of like with grays and stuff like that, just to kind of fit the whole black theme.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing on the caddy.
Nice.
Yep.
Are you going to upgrade?
Bagged with big wheels.
Are you going to
Yes,
upgrade
I
the
want
motor?
mob. I want mob steel wheel. No, I want a Coyote. So I want a Coyote. My husband's like, you're not getting a Coyote. It's too much money. I'm like, no, I'm getting a Coyote. That's what I want.
Oh,
So yeah, so I want a
Well,
Coyote
you can
for
get
it.
it. Just putting it in is the problem.
Well, I'll pay
Well,
for
in
you
that
to do
car, a Coyote motor would fall right
Yeah,
in.
it'll fit right in
Yeah,
there.
that's a lot of room.
Yeah, and it
My
goes,
My old
Hey,
man's
people
car had a 460, and the 460 was lost between the fenders on a Lincoln. That
A
car
lot
is
of people-
big.
A
That's our
lot of it is
67
big.
Cadillacs. There's so much room in there.
It is
Yeah.
big. There's so much room for activities. So
I remember helping my dad work on our Chevy pickup, our square body, and I would sit inside the engine compartment and do things because and so, and I was a teenager, so there's always room. Just gotta make
Right.
room
Yeah.
or build a roadster.
So are you said you're going to SEMA this year?
So I'm thinking of doing SEMA this year. I didn't do it last year. It was I've been going to SEMA since 2017.
You didn't miss anything.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't go. So when I saw it, I was like, no, this looks like a total waste. I could do more not going to SEMA than I could going.
It was a total mistake to go to last year.
Yeah, I saw pictures.
Just a waste of money.
Oh yeah, and the thing is like they really could have put it all into like one area. They didn't have to spread the whole thing out. But I think they wanted it to look bigger than it actually was. But the pictures didn't lie. I mean, you saw gigantic spaces of nothing. So yeah, and
look what they did with Chip Foose. They called him up last minute and said, "Bring us every car you can get your hands on."
And what's funny,
he had half of the complete hall.
Right, and what's funny is that everybody had a picture with Chip Foose last year. Like, you never can get a picture with Chip Foose. He's way too busy. But everybody had a picture with Chip Foose because there was nobody there.
They had park benches set up everywhere.
Yeah,
you never see that in SEMA.
No. So I don't know.
The aisles were like double the width that they normally were.
Right. So I think that
it was
SEMA
totally a waste.
I think that COVID definitely destroyed it, but I think it also let businesses realize that they don't have to spend that much money in order to be seen. And that's what I think is going to hurt SEMA. So a lot of people don't even understand the millions of dollars that are spent just to actually be there. That's not the people that work it. Like, in order for one of the paint companies that got a location there, the size of what they got, just the location, not the carpets, not anything put together, just the actual floor area, was $500,000. And that's like just for that. So when you think about what amount of money you're spending to go to an event, is it worth it? And I love SEMA, right? And I love SEMA, and I don't do it that expensive. I always do a good job with it. But as it is right now, I don't know that it's worth returning to SEMA until you actually get the people in there that you need to get in there. If it's going to continue to be as it is, I don't see the point.
Right. Well,
I think this year, I think it'll be better, but I don't think it's going to be like it was 3 years ago.
Right. Well, I think
I don't think it's coming back. And a lot of people said PRI was awesome.
Yeah.
Right. And I think, and a lot of that, whether people want to say it or not, a lot of it had to do with mask mandates, and a lot of people did not want to wear them in Vegas, and the hotels were super Nazi about it. Like, they made you have them on. And if you were actually at SEMA, they said if you're caught not wearing it and they catch you more than once, they were going to kick you out and not let you back.
I got threatened. I got threatened in SEMA 3 times, and I got threatened about every hour at the casino. We stayed at the Venetian.
So did you always carry a drink in your hand? Did you always
just kept
have a
drinking.
drink?
Just kept drinking. Drop the mask and drink. Guy would walk by and give you the shit eye. Right here. Oh yeah, tell me about it.
I just wear one of those hats with the straw.
I did the same thing on the 3.5-hour flight back from Vegas to Tampa. I just told the girl, keep bringing me soda.
Right.
I kept my mask off the whole time. The guy 2 seats over started giving me the crap I told him, you want to go out the window? Shut up. I'm drinking.
And I'm getting drunk or all.
And I drink slow.
No, they didn't serve booze. I was drinking Coca-Cola the whole way. They just started. Southwest just started serving booze again.
So my daughter, she left the college that she had a full ride academic scholarship for because of the mask mandates and the shot of the vaccine mandates. And she just told me today that the college that she transferred to, because they tested, now they're completely mask free. So it's like, it's pretty awesome to see like some normalcy coming back, and these kids can relax. And
the masks and the mandates are going away because it's an election year.
Right. But also, I think Vegas
had said
that they were going to do away with theirs. I think Vegas had said they were going to be doing that. So that in itself might help bring a lot more, tourism back, and maybe revive SEMA, maybe. But I think that once you do something, a lot of people forget back in the day in the paint industry, there were shows called NACE. And a lot of people used to go to them that were in the industry, and then those went away. And then, then they started doing SEMA, which SEMA has been around forever. But when it actually came to the paint end of it, that's gotten a lot more popular in like the last 15 years. It used to be that SEMA was more just focused on, the car building and stuff like that, or, things within the industry, but it got really paint based, pretty heavily recently, and I just feel like that's kind of going away too.
Yeah, and I think you definitely have something when you say that the companies realize that they can have a year-round impact online and with other campaigns. Then they don't need to spend all that money at SEMA.
Right.
And, they shot themselves in the foot, or Vegas shot SEMA in the foot.
Oh, really for sure. I think if you are a business that doesn't utilize social media properly, SEMA is probably a good show for you. I think if you're a company who utilizes social media the right way, the effective way, like I make sure to do, it doesn't matter where you are, because you can reach whoever you need to reach, no matter where you are or what event it is, just through social media, and you can do it for free. So that's, to me, the most effective thing that any business can do.
Yeah. Just look at the automotive.
You come to my next hospital board meeting with me.
I was at LST this weekend, and there was this company that has this. It's called Gate King, and it's made for the back of a pickup truck to make it where you can adjust the back of a tailgate on a pickup truck. And I was explaining to the guy, you could be selling this direct to the end user, just yourself, through tons of social media, Instagram, Facebook. I'm like, TikTok is super popular right now. And he was like, well, I don't know how to do it. So I sat there and literally gave him like a 2-day crash course, was teaching him how to do Instagram posts, teaching him how to do Facebook, so that he would be able to do that for his own business, so that he would be able to just kind of create that own branding. And I'm like, if you do stuff like this for free, it's going to make a huge impact. And he was explaining how, during COVID, it killed his business. All the distributors closed, everything closed. And I was like, well, if you go direct to customer and you don't go through a distributor, one, right, you will have constant access to that end customer. And two, if you ship to that end customer, like when COVID happened, people didn't want to leave their houses. People were just getting everything shipped. I'm like, right, so if you're just using social media and just shipping direct to them, you're going to do way better than, counting on a distributor who might shut the doors.
Absolutely.
And even if any kind of product that you have, besides doing what you're saying, is you find somebody that's a influencer, exactly, and you give it to them.
Hey,
right? Like some automotive stuff. Like we got a guy that's based here, Cletus McFarland is the stage name he uses, and the guy has got millions and millions of followers. And the guy makes millions of dollars a year off of his YouTube videos.
It's true.
And
it's true.
The beginning of every video is sponsored by a different company. I just watched one of his videos last night that came out like Monday or Tuesday. And he's actually got a Visa card now. A company said, hawk this card. So he did like this whole 3 or 4 minute deal just on the advantages of this particular Visa card.
Wow.
This guy reaches millions of people.
You don't just get paid by the sponsor, by the way. You actually get paid for your clicks. So when he
Right.
sets up, he gets paid for every view that gets on that video. He gets paid for that too, and it's monetized.
Every video that he does, he's got a sponsor. Today's video sponsored by, and he does a whole commercial. And he's getting that stuff. Plus, people are giving him things. All of these automotive companies, they're giving him carburetors, headers, turbochargers, and he's using this stuff.
And then they have it too, where if you sell through Amazon and you influence them to go through Amazon, you actually get a kickback from Amazon yourself, and you make money and you're monetized that way too. So there's people that know how to, play the whole system, and they make quite a living just off of, views and promoting.
Oh yeah. It's amazing.
I need to figure out how to do that better. I mean, I do it now for free. I need to figure out how to get monetized.
Yeah, like even on Twitter and Instagram, if you click on the image and look at it, it's weighted. If you enter a site, it weights even more. But I think it's Apple who's working on a technology where, depending how long you just stop it on your screen, that's going to be worth a weight, a click type thing also.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're not just scrolling by, but if you're actually absorbing what's going on, it's worth something.
Yeah. Exactly.
I need to figure out how to make it, now that we've been talking about Orion, that our phones all heard it and then you get emails. That's what I got to figure out. Because, if everything we've all talked about, some product, it's going to be in our email, or we're going to see it on Instagram or Facebook. It's going to be somewhere.
Yeah. Well, yep. It'll show up. When
Yeah,
I log on, there'll be something. Because this bitch listens to everything I say.
Yep.
It does. It's crazy. I even had my phone off, and actually picked up on a conversation. It was in my
Yes.
email. I'm like,
I've
how does this happen?
I've done tests before
Mm-hmm.
where I'll mention
Yes.
something that's like totally at left field
Yep.
4 or
We do
5
that all the
times,
time.
and then I log into Facebook and there's the
It's
ads.
there.
Yeah.
Or I go on Google.
I stopped
the
taking
ads
my
that show up.
phone. I stopped
It's
taking my
creepy.
phone in and talking to customers because when I
Yeah.
was talking to the customers, whatever we were talking about, I would come back out and I would have all this crap in my phone. It was unbelievable.
Actually, that's a good idea. I should. My phone's like attached to me all the time, but I should just start leaving it somewhere.
And I
You know,
found myself, not to preach, but I found myself in there when I was talking to a customer, even though I didn't really care about what his issue, you know, what he was talking. I was finding myself taking a glance at my phone and scrolling it. And then I realized, you know, you're there for the customer. So that's one of the reasons why I stopped carrying my phone into the shop.
You can block it because it doesn't happen to me. And I've watched a number of videos, guys on YouTube that I watch,
So you gotta
who are
block it.
like higher level tech guys. And I've actually followed some of their, like, they're telling me to do it, and I'm doing it on my phone as I'm watching the video because I'm not going to remember it. And I stopped the tracking on my phone, so the web stuff doesn't track anymore.
Yeah.
So there is a way to do it. You just have to, but if they don't make it easy, they don't make it intuitive.
Well, like I said, sometimes if you turn it off or reset it or your next update, all that stuff that you took out comes back.
Right.
I mean, you can't ever get rid of it. But I just found if I leave the phone in the back of the truck or whatever, I get a whole hell of a less of those advertisements.
I've actually started. I've started using it as like a note thing. Like if I want to remember something, I talk to it a bunch of times about it,
and it will remind you.
Oh yeah, that's right. I wanted to do that thing, or I wanted to look at that.
See, I like the shop, so when it comes up on my phone, I'm like, oh yeah, I needed that.
Yeah.
So I'm the person that I'll keep passing by it, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. No, I'm not going to do it. I don't need that. Keep going. And then the time that I want it, I can't find it on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where was it? Where was it when I want it?
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, it also drove me crazy when I found that part on the phone where it told you how many hours you spent on the phone during the day. And
where is that? How do you get to that?
Every time it tells me we're on the phone 9.6% more than last week, and I'm like, great.
And it was funny because I was talking to this one guy in the shop, and it was a shop owner.
Is it under screen time?
Yeah, screen time.
And it will even tell you how much time you spend on each individual thing.
Each individual,
Daily
and
average.
It was funny.
4 hours and 38 minutes.
A day. An hour. Yeah, it's your day. That's a lot, John.
Yeah.
Well,
can't run a business like that.
You got to understand something. A, it's business. B, no.
There's a spot in there where it says productive and non-productive. Let's look at your full breakdown, young man, and you can cover up the bad spots. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Where does it say productive?
We don't want to see the porn history.
Yeah, I was going to say,
does the porn count?
when you click on it again, it'll break each one down. It'll have productive and non-productive.
Yeah.
This week, social media alone, 12 hours and 25 minutes.
Well, if you think of it though, in the past, you would have spent that time, on a regular phone,
right,
with clients. So you're still on phone time. I mean, it's more convenient and easier now because you have it with you. But
right,
I don't know.
Well, it's it's business. B, it's the mapping app because it shows on here. C, it's the assholes around the world that call me that want to sell me stuff that I don't want.
Right.
I justify mine too. I say it's business because if I'm not on social media, then I'm not doing anything. I'm not selling.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing is I'll be working, one of our businesses, and I'll be answering emails or texting somebody back, whatever, and I get endless crap from my family, and it's like I'm working. So if I was behind the bar still at the bar, you guys wouldn't be giving me any nonsense, but I'm literally working right now.
Right.
And they don't understand it. But I guess I was on 4 hours and 39 minutes less. Oh, wait, no, 6 hours and 53 minutes less than yesterday. But in all fairness, I was driving a lot yesterday and I was listening to Spotify almost all day.
But she could be driving, passing chargers to the kids, putting her makeup on, texting on her phone, turning the radio with her feet. And,
Me too.
you know,
Me too.
turning the controls on the heater.
But you got to remember the most dangerous thing on the road is moose.
You.
Yeah, and the whole time she's doing all this crap, makeup and all this stuff, messing with the kids, and all of a sudden she'll go, and she'll be like, that, you know, missing a deer in the middle of the road. She's like, that was Minnesota driver evasive manual number 38 or something. And I'm like,
I think you should tune in the Motor Mouth Radio Spotify channel. We have a channel up on there. All the music that I play on the show.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
You have to get on that. I'm
That was
looking
a
for
good plug.
something new.
That was a smooth plug that you did right there.
So Tammy,
Like you said, that's key. You know,
Tammy, you're gonna have to go over to Motor Mouth Radio and do his show too.
Sure.
yeah.
It's on the
All right,
Sunday at 12:15.
Well, yeah, 12 to 1, but yeah, we bring the guests in around 12:15.
Very cool.
So I'll pass your info over to him.
Yeah, I gotta get
Yeah, you gotta
information
do it.
too, Lewis.
Say again.
Great.
I gotta get KJ's information too from last week. I gotta hit him up as well.
Yep, I got you.
Yeah, you'll have a good time. He gets all of these crazy people from New York calling in.
Yeah,
Hey, what are you doing?
and they're not even relatives,
I got a problem with my car.
right?
And the funny part, sometimes they don't even talk about to the question. To the guest. It's off
They
the
just
wall.
wanna-
It's like, oh yeah, okay, whatever.
Oh, I forgot there was a guest
Ray's got a
on
lot of
today.
washwomen that call up over there.
You know,
Pretty funny.
having doing it for 20 years.
what is that?
Well, I'm washing clothes right now. Does that make me a
What's
washwoman?
what's a washwoman? Oh, that's right, because you're like left coast over there. You don't know. Washwoman is in New York. A washwoman is a yenta.
A yenta, right?
Okay,
You know what a
what's
yenta is?
What's the yenta?
Somebody that just gossips and never shuts up.
Google
Knows
it.
everything about everybody.
Right.
Got
right.
something to say about everything. That's a yenta.
That's
a
right.
that's a Yiddish word.
I
And,
need
and
one of
a
those.
washwoman. That's a
I
New
need one
York
of
thing.
those so I know what's going on around town because I hide in my print shop or over in the fab shop. I don't know anything that's going on.
Well,
And
Heidi,
everybody-
I'll tell you.
And everybody in the town thinks we're drug dealers because the cops are always here, but the cops are always here at our place because
We do
they're-
cool
we
shit.
do cool stuff. So they're always like, "Hey, what are you guys doing today?" And then people ask us, "What are you guys doing?" Just working. And they're like, "Well, don't you guys just change oil?" And we're like, "Yeah."
Yep.
Heidi, I'll tell you something else you can do. On our website, we have the Motor Mouth Radio decoder. And what it is, it's our own dictionary of breaking down terms that we use that nobody like yenta. And yeah, that's not on there, but stuff that we
needs to be
say
now.
that nobody else would know. So you can check that out too and get a little New York,
I need one of those.
schooling.
It's the whole New York lexicon.
Oh
It's
my
interesting
gosh.
stuff.
Because people don't know. It's like
They
that.
don't.
Guys will say, "What was that?" Like, huh?
Well-
When Joe's on. I was doing a show with Joe one day. He said, "Yeah, you pulled the oil pan down. There was all this schming in there and schmutz." And the guy's like, "What? Schming, schmutz? What? Like gack? Ugh." They had no clue what we were talking.
Oh my gosh. Well, in Minnesota, we ope. Like if you bump into somebody, you go, "Oh, sorry," and
okay.
we ope up. We ope up.
At least they get the hell out of their way.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely oofed, and I'm a you betcha-er, so there's that. We don't have a lot here.
So Tammy,
At least you don't have the accent though. You don't sound like you're from Minnesota.
I really should. I really.
Yeah,
really
what
should.
accent is that?
It's
Minnesota?
very strange. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very
Yeah, I know
unique-
exactly
you
what you're
always
talking
know.
about.
You always
oh, yeah,
know
you
someone's
betcha.
from Minnesota.
Oh, right there,
Yeah,
right
that's
there,
it.
on that street, right there.
Is
Yeah.
that like is that like a
Canadian.
like
Yeah.
is that like a
Oh,
Dutch
hey, how's
thing
your
maybe?
mom? How's
Like
your mom
Canadian.
doing? Is your mom good? That's it. I can do it. I just don't need to. I talk to people
man.
that think I'm from Minnesota. So
yeah. So Tammy, can you give the audience all your contact information, like if they want to go to your YouTube or Facebook or?
So I haven't created a YouTube yet. I need to do that actually. I've always had one. I just haven't made a new one. But I'm on Instagram at it's on Orion Automotive Finishes, and then I use my personal Instagram for business basically always because I have the followers. So that's anything that's social media based. I'm Tamster83 on Instagram, on TikTok. We have TikTok for Orion as well. I have a Facebook group called Orion Automotive Finishes, and that is our tech group. So if anybody wants to join that, you can talk different things. You said you are or aren't?
I am. Yeah, I'm on all your stuff.
Yeah. So
I didn't know you had the Orion one. I follow you on the Tamster one.
Yeah. So the
on
Tamster one is
Instagram.
what I. Yeah. So that's the one that a lot of people follow, just because I share a lot more stuff there. But I have an Orion one as well. And then I've been trying to do a lot more TikTok, just because that's just does a little bit better when it comes to videos and being able to share.
What are you on TikTok?
Tamster83 on TikTok, and then Orion Automotive on TikTok as well.
There you go.
TikTok makes it where if you do a video, it makes it, in my opinion, the most shareable. So if you want to go straight to Facebook with it, you can. If you want to go to Instagram, you can. If you want to do a story, you can. If you want to save it on your phone and share it anywhere, you can. So that's one reason I do like that platform.
As long as you're not lip syncing and dancing to these little 7-second music clips.
They get the hit.
You gotta do what you gotta do for views.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
That's what it's all about, though.
Oh, there's my.
Okay.
I'm kind of new to Instagram, and Instagram's got the same thing.
That's because they're sharing
just
their
like
TikTok.
a boatload of these young girls that have nothing to do but do these dance moves.
But realize they get
really,
paid.
and I'm like brushing through these little videos, and it's like one teenage jerk after another. Boom, 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 boom. Then there's a mom thrown in there who's in the line waiting to pick up her brats at school, and she's lip syncing something, and she's got like 500,000 views, and I'm like, you gotta be.
And the thing is, they get paid for this. So when you get to a certain part, you get monetized for your views, even on TikTok, and even for the stupidest shit you can imagine, they get paid.
I don't have time for that.
You know, I actually was on Arco's TikTok today.
He's got a TikTok. Oh my god.
He does.
We all got
I
TikTok.
went over there, and I was so surprised at the amount of views he has on some of his TikToks, because usually I'm like helping him run all this stuff, and I don't do anything on his TikTok. I barely do anything on mine.
Actually, since I started doing, a couple people told me, hey, do TikTok. And then as far as your Instagram, do the reels. And a week or a couple weeks, or I'm sorry, a couple months, I started doing the TikTok and the reels on Instagram. And I already got over 1,000 subs on my YouTube channel just from that.
And he's doing it anyway, so why not?
In like 2 months.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's worth it, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
I got like 60.
I was surprised though, because I mean, he's got 30,000 views on some of them, and it's just about mantiques.
Wow.
You know, just about mantiques and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I used to be excited when I got 500. I don't know where those 500 people come from. Where do they come from?
I don't know. It has to do with your hashtags. I posted a really stupid ass one about a receipt that I got, and it was 187, which is, code for homicide or whatever. So I did that. I threw those like hashtags in, threw it up on TikTok, and then it got like 11,000 views over something that was 7 seconds and stupid. It got 11,000 views.
Wow.
I think
when you need to get something out real important, you don't get the hits.
It doesn't. No one watches it for sure.
Right. I think that's just escapism. People just don't want to like deal, so they just move on from important things.
But it's also the same thing with YouTube. I mean, there's times where I worked my ass off for 2 days doing a video, and I loaded the video and it got 14 views. I'm like, seriously? And then I did another one where I took a magnet and I was all pissed off that it had like all the metal shavings on it. I blew it off with air on YouTube, and this thing got like 500,000 views.
It's because people like action videos. It's true. Like if you do a video of you doing something, no matter what it is, if I just take a stir video, like I have videos on my Instagram account right now where I just literally stir paint, and I have 200,000 views on it. I have a video where I literally just took speed shapes I sprayed out and I just went over it really quick in 10 seconds. That has over 500,000 views on it.
But
It's just
Tammy,
stupid stuff.
Tammy, it could be the way you're shaking it though.
I'm not in the video. It's not me in it.
Wow. That is good.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a shake, girl.
I mean, I know it works, but it's.
But you know what? There's something about that paint stirring when you can, especially when you can see the metallic in there. People get all like,
It catches
all
you.
like
Yeah,
pimple
it's kind
popper
of
on that.
It's a little,
mesmerizing.
it's a little
Fascinating.
mesmerizing, for sure.
Yeah,
It is a little
it is.
You just
mesmerizing.
want to watch.
Especially when you first go in, and then you get that swirl that comes up from the bottom, right?
Look at the listen to the way you described it.
You-
It was so
you just
have to-
casual.
You have to learn next
He's
time you
watched
do
it
that.
1,000 times himself.
No, next time you do that, you just have to learn to make the little heart shapes like in the car.
Yeah.
Cappuccino's
Like
like
at
that.
I
Starbucks.
need to do that.
Like the
That's
coffee
a
at
good idea.
Starbucks.
I
You
need
need to work
figure
on that, and that's the when you end your note. That's the way you just have your.
Well, you
little,
That's
gotta,
a
you
good
gotta
idea.
take the stirrer and put it in there
I
and
need
get some of
need
that,
the-
and then you got to learn the technique. You know, like
Yeah,
the guy from
I need that
the guy from
latte
the
heart in
Green
there.
Hornet used to do those really, really good.
The Green Hornet, he says.
Remember the movie?
Oh.
The movie The Green Hornet?
Hey,
Kato?
you
Kato
just
made
said
that
your age
awesome.
again, man. Now
What
we
are you
know how
talking
old you are
about?
for real.
No, I'm talking about the Green Hornet movie with that.
The Green
comedian.
Hornet was, yeah, it's funny. It had what's his name in it?
Yeah, what's his face?
Seth, is it Seth something?
Seth
Yeah,
Rogen.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, that's a funny movie, and the
It
car is
is.
really cool. The
The
car
car's
is cool.
awesome. And
Yeah.
the guy that
Yeah.
played Kato made him this awesome coffee every morning with these
Right.
designs in it.
What kind of car was that? Wasn't that a Lincoln or something too?
It's an Imperial.
No.
Imperial,
Yeah.
yeah.
the original,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the original series.
And they put the
was
really
Chrysler
they put the
Imperial.
really cool green lights, and it was a really cool car in the movie.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. That was a
Yeah,
good
we-
movie.
Remember that movie, The Car, when we were kids? That
Oh
movie,
my
Yeah.
god.
that movie
yeah.
scared the hell out of me.
Dennis Weaver.
Yeah, the car.
I don't know. I couldn't watch it.
Right.
What about the
It's
what
really
about the
fun.
ones with the trucks? And it was that one that had that
Yeah.
clown face.
Oh, that was
That was creepy.
Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it
Yeah.
called?
Maximum
Maximum
Overdrive.
Overdrive. And literally,
Yeah.
the truck is
Sylvester
always about
Stallone.
to crush them.
that was a Stephen King movie. The whole soundtrack with
Yeah.
AC/DC songs.
Heck
Yep.
yeah. You know what I want to watch and I haven't watched in a long time is Fat Albert. I love that
Maximum
Fat
cartoon.
Albert.
I
Yeah.
love those kids.
My kids have never watched Fat Albert. I'm like, come on.
Oh, you
guys
deprived
are
them.
not-
Poor kids.
Oh, man.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know they hadn't seen it. I'm trying
Hey,
to fix
hey,
it.
hey.
I'm gonna have to make. Well, Hawken, my oldest, is 20. He'll be 28 in July. So I mean, they've really got to like catch up with that one. But the other
Yeah.
ones, I think I can force watch it. Like, all right, everybody.
Well, they
You
just
get
had
to
a
watch it.
3-part series all about what's his face?
Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby. Let's talk about Bill Cosby. Unbelievable.
Wait, before you
I
guys
got
get into
to
that,
admit, I was pretty amazed at the stuff that came out in these 3 parts. I mean,
Really?
the dude basically was
Look at his
he was
face.
telling the world since the 70s that he's a pedophile, you know,
wow.
an abuser.
Hey,
You know, crazy.
I got to go to work in the morning, so I got to jump off. But Tammy,
See ya.
thank you for coming on. Hold on, I gotta
I'm gonna-
block him.
Yeah.
So hey, thanks for coming on, Tammy. You know, we really
Thank
appreciate
you. I'm
your
gonna jump
knowledge.
off too.
And if anybody needs any information on paint and how to get it to stick, Tammy's the person to hit. We appreciate you, and your family always welcome to come on anytime to show anything.
I appreciate it. And I'll make sure not to do my lives on Thursday anymore.
All right, thank you very much. You know, I would like, Tammy, you coming on the show? She's like, no, I can't. I'm doing my show. Okay.
I'll change it up. I'll go to Tuesdays or something.
All right, sounds
Yeah.
good.
Cool.
Hey, so all the guys here.
Sounds good. It was good to see all you guys.
Hey, everybody's on the after show, so you're welcome to stay. But
Oh,
Daddy
yeah.
has to
We hang.
sleep.
I got to catch up on some stuff, but I appreciate it.
Okay. Thanks,
Pleasure
Tammy.
seeing you.
Appreciate
Good
it.
talking to you, Tammy.
Thanks, Louis.
Thanks, I appreciate
Thank
it.
you,
We'll be
Tammy.
back.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
I'll be back. Take care.
All
guys.
right, cool.
Bye.
Thanks.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
That's funny. That's good. Hey, Arco, You gotta.
Huh.
You ever do like? Here, look at this. This is my body guy. See these handles? They're flush.
Oh,
Ooh,
those are
makes
beautiful.
He makes those?
He makes them. Yeah. He's got a guy that does the CNC work, and he puts them together. And now he just got these new boxes, and he's selling them. They're awesome flush mount door handles.
What's he
I
selling
like
for, John?
Yeah, those are sick.
I don't
we
know what they
send me
go
the
for,
information.
but I can get you hooked up with them.
Yeah, I'd love to get the information from those.
You know what I
Yeah.
like about those is they remind me of the old Oldsmobile ones, but they're pretty. You know, like
He created
I
them
know, I
himself,
know.
and
That's
he's got
awesome.
a guy that does all the CNC machining,
Mm-hmm.
and then he puts the pieces together. He built this jig that holds 4 of them, and then he goes in there with the TIG welder and he welds the pieces together, and then he pulls them out. And he just had these new boxes made that have that cutout foam, so he could send them off and sell them to
Awesome. It
people
looks really
without
good
getting
too.
beat up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
He's on-
99% of people buying stuff like that when they see that box, they'll buy again just because.
Yeah. I
well
told him, I said,
packaged.
dude, you got to get this stuff up on YouTube. He's on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram.
Yeah, those are beautiful
It's-
though. Like
His Instagram is RC_customs, and customs with a Z.
Cool. Thank you.
you know how
He's
many
right-
times
he's
I have
right
to
here
tell people?
He's
So
right
he's got
here
two
in
things
Florida.
going against him in his handle already.
Yeah, right.
Underscore and a
He's,
Z. But
Yeah.
you know, we have a harder time getting people to spell our words right than you do when they spell them with a K and a Z. It's
Wow. Yeah.
and
Well,
I'm like an
it's-
English nerd, so
the custom part is C. It's just it ends with a Z.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. He went the other way. Yeah.
yeah. And you get a lot of that, and you literally, I have to spell it out more often than I think they do. So,
Yeah. But Raleigh's really good guy. Super nice guy.
but those are beautiful.
Hey, I got
Yeah,
a question.
He's
for,
putting them in both of my Firebirds.
Yeah.
For Brian, the Matco Air Chisel.
Uh-huh.
So the other day when we were in Ohio, I was using a Snap-on Air Chisel, but it's the exact same one, like identical to my Mac Air Chisel.
Yeah.
The day I bought the Air Chisel from Mac, he told me, "Oh, it's supposed to be like that. The freaking thing that you spin on the end that you know, I don't know what you call it, the quick
Spring?
disconnect.
The spring. Yeah.
No,
Spring?
this one doesn't have a spring. It's a quick disconnect that
Oh.
screws onto the gun itself,
Right.
and it's
yeah.
it was broken since day one when I bought this thing. And he's like, "Oh no, it's supposed to be like that." Well, what happens is when you're rattling on that thing, it goes past the threads, and that whole quick disconnect and everything falls off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that a common problem with those or something? Or
Yeah, well, yeah, because they have it's a plastic sleeve inside, and you can replace just the end. Now, the ones that we have that replace actually has an Allen set screw, because once you crank it down, you tighten the screw down, and that keeps it from vibrating or coming loose. Now, the Matco ones on our new guns, that's all one piece. That is not. The only thing that's serviceable in there are the ball bearings inside. You can actually take the circlip off and put new ball bearings in there. We don't have. We eliminated the plastic piece that has that problem. And what
it's
that
a
is
failure.
from,
I mean, like it's a complete failure. And I was looking at the Mac one that I have and the Snap-on one that I was using in Ohio, and it's completely identical. I mean, it looks like something that, you know, they probably put Snap-on one and they put Mac on another, but
Yeah.
they were made in the same damn factory.
Not a lot of variants where you get to impact chisels.
Yeah.
It's like
Yep.
yeah.
I don't have one with me here.
But I love that quick disconnect. I don't like the ones with the springs, you know. where
Yeah,
you gotta
no.
have that
We
spring
have
back.
ours is assembled onto the gun, so we eliminated the problem. The problem that came about is that when you screw that disconnect on, you don't get it tight, and it vibrates and it wears the plastic out and the sleeve, and of course then it either blow off or you can't ever get it tight. You can never.
Yeah, it
keep
just sits
tight.
and spins on there, and that's it. It doesn't do nothing, you know.
So now you could buy we sell it in. You're talking about like right here. Well, see, this is the end of the barrel, like on where the end of the barrel is.
Yeah. Yep.
You have the disconnect that goes on there.
Yeah.
we have. I just rebuilt one, and I guess I took the sleeve. So on the sleeve, we have 3 Allen's keys that when you tighten it up, you crush that down, and it actually pinches into the threads, and it no longer spins like that, and it stays.
Yeah.
What happens is it's because this was loose and it wore out the plastic piece. They're about $40. You can repair that for about $40.
Okay. Is there any way I could get some information from you on on that setup? Because even if I was to go with the other style that was a one-piece gun, I'd rather do that. Yeah. Because I'm telling you, I have 2 tools that have been haunting me since I bought them new, and that one of them is that air chisel I'm talking about from Mac, and then the other one was that Snap-on. It's a 1/4-inch ratchet with a 3/8 head on it, and it has fought me. I finally last year got it fixed by the Snap-on guy after
was that a hand ratchet?
6 or 7 years. What's that?
Was that a hand ratchet?
Yeah. Yep. And it's a 1/4-inch ratchet with a 3/8.
I don't have mine with me, but I made Ray one.
Yeah,
I mean,
love it.
You did what?
I made Ray. We have a 1/4-inch ratchet flex head, and I put 3/8 heads in them.
Love it. The thing is fantastic.
Yeah. See, I love that one right there. You got that is sweet with the flex head. So
yeah, very nice.
And it's a locking flex. Snappy's not.
I tell you, Uncle, once you have one of those, you just go for it all the time.
Oh, I'm telling you, man, that thing is sweet right there.
It's a go-to for small stuff. Obviously, small work.
I'd like to get some information from you because there's a
all
couple
you gotta
things
do,
I'd like to
Arco,
talk to you about. So,
if you got, all you gotta do is I'm on. Here's my number: 301 219 7875. Just text me and I'll send you some pictures and I'll hook you up.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
I don't know where my it's upstairs. Damn it. I use my 3/8 one all the time. The 3/8 with the 3/8 head in it.
Yeah.
It works. And
that's a fine tooth ratchet, that one right there too, huh?
Yeah, it's 88 tooth, yeah.
Oh wow, that's sweet.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even
hear it. You can hear how cool it sounds.
Yeah. The other ratchets I have,
it's
I
got
don't
a lot
use
of
them
teeth
anymore because they're just like click,
sound.
click, click. I use all fine
Oh,
tooth.
you can pick it up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can pick it up on the speaker, yeah.
Yeah, I hear it.
Oh, wow, I can hear it.
Yes, Heidi can hear it across the room.
Yeah, Brian, we hear every metallic sound you make every week.
I gotta watch it then. Who knows what you're really hearing?
We pick it all up.
We heard when you farted last week.
Yeah.
Won't be surprised, poor kid. Yeah, no, because like I said, I thought I had a one-piece gun down here, but I don't.
Man, mine's old school. It's got the spring on the top.
Yeah, no, you can, like I said, you can convert the spring over to a quick disconnect.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
You just have to make sure that you tighten the Allens down, because what happens is that from the impact it loosens up and you'll wear the plastic sleeve out, or you get the problem where you crank down on it, tighten it, and because you don't lock it, it'll actually, what happened is the plastic sleeve inside has broken away, so it just sits there and spins around in a circle.
Okay, I'll show you how easy it is. Brian, do you have a kit to do that, to retrofit a gun with a spring on it?
Gun with a spring. What are you talking about?
Well, do you make a kit, like a retrofit kit, to retrofit my gun that uses that screw-on?
Oh no, they just sell. They sell just the end piece.
So you have those pieces.
Yeah.
Throw one in the box. Arco, that's it. Done.
That's all you gotta say, Arco. Throw it in the box and I'll send it to you.
That's all you gotta do.
Sweet.
That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, no, but
because
like
I use a lot of those doing metal shaping. I use a lot of those air chisels with the what would you call that?
Oh, the planishing end on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I use one. I have one
that to take brake rotors off of cars when they're frozen.
Yep.
I have one of them. It's about that big, and it's kind of it's curved outward, so it stretches the metal. It's
Do you
works
use
great
a
with
long barrel or
works great
short
with a
barrel?
bag.
I'm gonna say it's short.
Long barrel, I believe. I can show you the one I got. So
yeah. No, I just didn't know. Most body guys will use a short barrel gun because of the strokes. You know, the hits. It's faster than a long one.
And I prefer so mine's a long because I prefer it to hit slower.
This is the worst conversation you guys have ever had.
It's been that kind of a night. What can I say? It's just been going from topic to topic to topic.
It's all related somehow. It's always
get
about
away
the
from it.
stroke and the size. I'm sorry.
Right.
But I prefer it to hit slower because it's not bouncing back as much. So you have a little bit more control when you're shaping the metal into like bucks and forming it into your wooden forms and whatever.
Yeah, it's a slower process. Yeah.
Yeah, and then also when I have the beater bag and I have a piece of sheet metal on there and I have it drawn, the shape that I'm trying to get on the beater bag underneath that, I use the air chisel on top of that and kind of hammer into it, so I could get that.
Do you have metal, do you have nylon hammer tips? And brass hammer?
No. You got nylon ones too?
Yeah.
What?
Nylon would be awesome for sure.
Yeah, that'd be kick ass, wouldn't it?
Well, the hammers are right. The hammers are nylon, so why not have a?
Yeah, we have. I just had a brass one. I was using a brass one.
You can always crack walnuts with it too. Yeah.
Yeah, we have brass and we have nylon with on the hammer tips.
Wow.
Yeah, you got my brain spinning now. Now we definitely got to talk.
And then I can't remember. Yeah, no, like I said, just text me, and like I said, I'll show you what I have and whatever I can do to help. I mean, it's no problem.
How long have you been doing Matco?
This is my 20th year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
20.
They finally let him drive the truck too.
Huh?
They finally let him drive the truck just this year. So.
But that's what you do, right? You go to the different job sites, don't you?
Yeah, I go to different shops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and 20 years. It's hard to believe.
So I always wondered, like, when a guy sells tools and whatever. So do you have Matco tools yourselves?
Yeah, I got a lot.
I didn't know if you had like a Harbor Freight set of tools or
Oh my god.
No, I mean, it's funny because in the beginning when I was turning wrenches, I mean, all I had was a Snap-on guy. So I still have a lot of Snap-on stuff, from when I did. And then I don't know. Like I said, the guy that got me into the business, my distributor. I'll never forget. I mean, I had the same guys give me the same line because I told them, "Don't waste your time, buddy. You guys never stick around. I'm just going to deal with Snap-on." And he showed up every week, and next thing you know, the Snap-on guy's not showing up, and you need something, and you're buying, and next thing you know, you're just kind of buying from him only, and so I had gotten a lot, and of course I still have the problem about buying tools. I mean, I still, something comes along and I'll order four for the truck, one for me and 3 to put on the truck. So I still buy a lot of tools.
The problem I always have is I have every tool I need, but I always need these weird tools that I don't have. And I swear to you, Heidi even jokes around about it. I'll write a list down of like 5 tools that I need really, really bad because I will only go and buy them when I need them, like then and there, And I swear it's like sometimes it'll take us a month to find them, all over the internet or different tool places or whatever, just to find the tools that I'm looking for,
Yeah, we had actually. It's kind of funny. I really wish I had them closer by. I don't know where, but we had I just got the new for the air hammer. They have a ball peen in on them, a different size. It's 3, 6, and 12-inch long.
Huh.
And then I also just got a set of shapers. They have plastic ends on them, and they're used to. I was beating on the firewall on the Mustang.
Oh, I'd love to look at those. I'd be really interested in those.
So those
are they're corking tools or dapping tools.
Yeah,
is what those are called. I mean, if that's the ones you're talking about, for shaping sheet metal and whatever.
Yeah, they go into your air hammer and so forth. So
I'd definitely be interested in those.
I've been picking that stuff up. So whenever I can work on the car or whatever, I can hopefully.
Not to interrupt, but Matt the Scrap Whisperer, he's a buddy of mine in Arizona. He says, "Hi Heidi," and then he says, "Do you find that you have to anneal the steel halfway through the hammer forming?" I would say only on aluminum. Metal, not so much, because I'm so hard headed that, like, if I'm hammering really hard on something or using an air hammer and getting a shape that I want, if it starts kind of work hardening the metal, and it does happen. I'll just give it to it and keep beating on it until I get it to where I want it, But especially with aluminum, it'll work harden really bad, and sometimes you'll have to anneal it a couple times. So hopefully that answers your question, bro. Hope you're doing good, man.
So do you? So when you're doing your, do you heat yours up any? I mean, are you just down and dirty and cold?
Just aluminum. If I'm doing aluminum, I'll heat it up and anneal it. I guess you call it annealing it, but you're just kind of making it malleable, is all you're doing. And then as far as metal, it's 20 gauge sheet metal is what I use all the time. Wow. So 20 gauge sheet metal, you can just hammer the piss out of it, and it'll move it around where you want it eventually. The old saying, just get a bigger hammer. I mean,
right.
Hold on.
It's funny, Arthur. You talk about the special tools. I have a picture. My buddy TJ's a body man, been one for, 40 years. And he sent me a picture of these in his toolbox drawer. You would think it was like he dug up a garden, because there's like a piece of wood that's tapered, and there's like a rock, and then another. And these are tools he uses when he does body work. So he says, I can't get into anywhere, but that piece of wood that with the taper gets me in. It's like, It's
I have to laugh because Heidi just shook her head and said, "Yep, rocks and sticks."
Yeah,
I have tools in my toolbox that are hilarious, because people just look at me like, "What the hell is that?" And I have wooden, plastic, metal, copper, brass. I mean, every kind of tool you could think of, made out of all kinds of goofy stuff. Yeah. I have cannonballs cut in half. I'm not even joking.
No, that's
cannonballs cut in half that are. And I actually just from my sister. Last weekend, my sister brought me up a stack of hockey pucks.
Oh, wow.
And I'm in the process of I'm going to hollow a hockey puck and make cupped, different shaped radius cup hockey pucks. And I'm making these cup deals they're going to be a post dolly that welds to a piece of metal. I put those in my anvil, my vise, and I tighten the piss out of them. And then I can shape metal on the top of those hockey pucks.
Wow, very cool.
And then you'll have, like 4 set screws that'll hold them into that metal piece that I make. So that's actually one of my next shop projects. So I can, because I got a car that I'm really wanting to get on. It's been driving me nuts, and it's like a Cruella DeVille looking car. It's a Boattail Speedster.
Oh yeah.
See, I'm just dying to build that thing, man.
See, this is the end right here.
I thought you went and got your Geiger counter.
Oh, see, that just screws off.
Oh, yeah.
And see, the plastic piece inside here is spinning.
So where
the Allen screws here?
Okay.
When you tighten this down, you tighten the 3 up, and that keeps it from spinning around. But this is the disconnect.
Oh, and just throw that right in the box.
You could rebuild the end. It has a circlip here, clip. And there's a spring with ball bearings inside,
right?
Because these will start beating on the end of the
So it works like an air chuck fitting almost,
right? On the tip of the air hammer, and it'll flatten these out,
right,
and so forth. But basically, that's what you need now.
Beautiful.
And usually
all of these guns, the thread is like standardized.
Yeah, they're all standard.
Yep.
It's
So
like a
you
giant
actually-
pipe thread.
You actually just answered my question, Brian, because when you had that off and I was looking at it from inside the camera, there's like hardly any threads in mine. So that plastic piece must have just came out of there like you talked
Right.
about.
That plastic piece. Well, like I said, a lot of times guys will buy this, and they just hand crank it down and leave it. And what happens is they never tighten it up. And eventually this will loosen up from rattling. It just loosens up a little bit and it eats that plastic all up inside.
Put some
Kick-ass.
Loctite on those screws too.
Oh,
Yeah,
big time.
there
Yeah.
actually is Loctite on there. And then
Okay.
you just crank it down, and that crushes the plastic to go in between these threads because how coarse it is.
Right.
And it locks it down and it keeps it from moving then.
Sweet.
And John, I'll put a Genoa salami and provolone sandwich in your box. Right?
Perfect.
Nice. Oh, Genoa salami is the best. Man.
Oh my God!
And,
Nice mayo, salt, and pepper,
And I thought I had one of those.
Some oil and vinegar.
oil and vinegar. Yeah. Or have you seen the bottles from Boar's Head?
Yes, I bought them. Yes.
Of the what
Yes.
is it? Well, I don't know what they call it. Hero.
It's a hero
stuff.
dressing, right? You just shake it
Right.
up. In fact, that day I
Whoa.
sent you a picture of the mozzarella. I was looking for it because I was in the deli aisle and I was looking for it on the
Yeah.
side riser, but it wasn't there.
Yeah, Bart
Oh.
bought it because Publix has all that Boar's Head stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
That's good stuff.
Let me tell you, you want an
here.
awesome hero sandwich.
Dude,
You got to
Yeah.
find a Publix supermarket.
Okay.
this is a brass hammer right here.
Crazy.
Oh, that's sweet.
Oh, that's nice.
See, I didn't know they had all these damn fittings and setups like this for those hammers, you know?
That's because you
And,
live in the
That's, you
freaking.
got to look through the tool catalog.
You're living in the freaking wrong part of the country.
But see, this is a brass. This, like I said, this is a brass,
Right.
and they have nylon.
That one's been around the block.
Yeah,
a
the
little bit,
nylon
huh?
would be
Yeah.
tricked too, you know?
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
the hell
nylon's
happened? You
nice.
saw a track in it?
No. It's from. I use it to pop off timing gears.
Oh.
And I also used it on driving second, third gear shift. You know, on a
selector
manual
rod?
transmission. Huh?
Yeah, selector
shift
selector
door?
rod,
Yeah.
selector shaft. Yeah.
Actually, I just got done. You could kind of see how it's cleaned up. I just redressed the ends on it.
Right.
So,
Nice.
but these, and they do sell replacement tips. There's this has a dowel pin, and you could change.
Nice.
And
Sweet.
the nylon. Oh, here. Well, here's the big set. So, see this. I thought. See, this is the bigger.
Oh,
yeah,
Lord,
yeah.
Lord. Yeah.
That's a trick.
And then they have 12-inch.
Nice.
Man, that'd
Wow.
be so handy.
In the
On
blow
the,
molded.
on the shit, those damn doing those hubs would be awesome to have that.
Yeah.
You know, when you're popping the hubs off on cars, we do so
Yeah.
many hubs in our shop.
Oh yeah.
I thought that I had. I don't know where I had it down here,
It beats whacking them with by hand with a hammer. That's for sure.
Yeah.
but I had just gotten the ones with the ball, like a ball peen hammer in. Those
That's
are really nice. Those are really good about shaping metal.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, they would be.
Yeah.
And if you
Especially
and
with the
Brian, if you
air
take that and you push it into the cookie dough, you could fill the void with chocolate. When you bake the cookies, you get these giant chocolate chips.
Giant chocolate
Size of
chips. You
quarters.
got it.
Stop. Yeah, she's whining.
Whining.
My dog's behind the deal here on the couch where you can't see her. She's back there whining and she wants to go outside and wants to go inside, wants to go back outside. Yeah, she's a pain.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm gonna get out of here, you guys.
Yeah, just let me know, Arco. Like I said, I'll help you any way I can and let you know what I got, and
Thank you.
we go from there.
I'll have you send me up a care package,
Yep, it can be
and
done.
then we'll put it on Ray's bill.
Yeah.
Right. Just throw it in, like Ray says, throw
Everybody
it in the box.
puts it on Ray's bill.
Brian's care packages are the best.
Yeah.
Right?
The best.
Yep. No, I appreciate it. No problem.
Hey, thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys too, man. Thank
All
you.
right,
Have a
I'll
good night.
go stoke
It's
the
good.
fire.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys, man.
Throw another
See you
log
next week.
on.
All right. See
All
you
right,
next
later
week.
on.
Good night. Yeah. I
Funny.
still can't imagine it being that cold.
Oh man,
That's
hell
nuts.
no.
Like I said, my buddy's wife sent me a house listing in North Carolina today with a 16-car garage.
Oh, that's where I want to live.
I'll send it to both of you. And she was telling me, yeah, how's it up there now? You know, they're both from New York. And she goes, how's it up there? Today it's 82 degrees down here today. I'm like, yeah, well, we were like in the like 50s, but it wasn't 80. But
Yeah.
I was like 16.
I'm gonna go find that guy that's building that barn dominium over here.
Right. I was amazed. I'm
Right
watching a
down.
video and he says, yeah, I'm wondering where the hell's this guy from? And then he said he was talking about being by the coast, and then he mentioned Plant City. I'm like, whoa, I know.
That's where he's building it.
Send
Yeah,
this
I
to
gotta go
John.
find him because he's got a car collection.
Right.
So be another car friend.
And he works on stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I forget how many square feet he said, like 8,500 or something.
I think it's right,
Like-
8,500 house and shop.
Man, that's a lot of square foot.
It is. That's cool. And then I watched those videos with what is his name?
Magnate?
Magnante.
I knew Brian would like that with the GT.
Yeah, man.
I had no idea. See, he knows all the little stuff. How they
Yeah.
move the stripe up.
Right. Off the court. Right.
Stuff that you would look at, you wouldn't even know.
I was really digging that oil pan, man. That cast aluminum oil pan.
it. I think Evan's got one of those hanging in his garage.
Very nice.
Man, I want to tell
That
you,
is
I
not
kick,
a light pan either. It's
No.
thick aluminum.
I kicked myself in the ass back, in the early 80s. That stuff was everywhere. I mean, I had 2 or 3 of those things, and those were just swapping left and right. I had the valve covers, the buddy bar, all that stuff, man. And they were everywhere. It was just like a 55 Chevrolet, dude. You could pick them up for nothing. And one day, everything was gone. I wish I kept one. I have on my motor, I had taken mine off, and I had used a, Muldoon? Is it
Mylodon.
Mylodon, yeah.
Very
And I
good
put,
stuff.
and they had it wasn't a true T shape, but it was, it came down in an angle, and it was gold. It always looked pretty cool underneath the car because that thing hanging down there, it was that bright goldish color,
Oh
And
yeah.
it
I had
was
the same pan on my
8.5
big
quarts or
block.
something.
Yep. It flares out at an angle.
Yeah.
Keeps the oil
And,
down low.
Right.
I had that. That's what I put on. But I was like, dude, that stuff was everywhere. I had my first time I had gotten into nitrous, and we had put nitrous on one of my motors, and I had gotten the bug. I got nitrous happy. Every stoplight, I was shooting this thing off, leaving the light and everything. My buddies wouldn't even ride with me because I'd be like 3 cars back. I wouldn't be at the front of the line. We'd be sitting in traffic, and I'd hit it and like almost hit the car in front of me because the car would take off, And one day I had a set of the Cobra valve covers, and the original Cobra valve covers, and I had melted the motor with the nitrous, and it sat in my buddy's. They own a landscape company. His mom did, and that's where we changed the motor. And that motor sat there, and they said, "Get that motor out of here! Yeah." Came in one day, and the motor was gone.
Oh boy.
And I said, "What happened to the motor?"
Put it in the dumpster.
It was gone, and I was like, "My valve covers." I mean, dude. Those. This wasn't. But back then, that shit was everywhere, dude.
Snooze, you lose.
Yep.
It's true.
So
Very true.
No, that was a great little series he did. I'm glad he did it in 3 parts too. That was some cool stuff.
Yeah, it was nice.
yeah, I love that guy. I love to really talk. Meet him.
Well, I thought you
he's-
immediately. So I'm like, hey,
He's
here's
a
Brian's
freaking
got to see this.
savant.
Yeah, I'd
like to know the shit he lost. I would love to know the stuff that he forgot.
Yeah. I just emailed you both the link to that house.
Okay.
And she sends it to me tonight saying, maybe a little high, but I think but I thought of you when I saw the garages. I was like, you got my number, babe. You know exactly what I want. That's right.
That's
I said, good.
16 cars.
She's still
Jeez.
thinking of me.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's almost a little obsessive. But
Mm-hmm.
so you make a garage like, a pool table garage, or you could make it a drum room.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, yeah. That's what the guys do is they break it up into areas.
Yeah.
They put a couch and some chairs and a bar and refrigerator and
soundproof it, make it a
big
music
screen
room.
TV. Yeah. You can do all kinds of stuff when you got that room.
Right.
Build yourself a tiki bar.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Gotta have it.
That price is absolutely disgusting.
I know.
That wouldn't even get you a quarter of what of my house, and my house is a dump. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's.
I'll have to check this out.
Yeah, fun stuff.
So the Strawberry Festival has officially started.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I got every.
Do the migrant workers work at the festival?
No, just the carnies.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know.
The barkers?
Yeah, it's funny. We call them carnies.
Yeah, right.
They got their own language, It's hilarious. It's big. They got a huge midway.
Right.
And there's a big giant stage, which I don't know. There's the grounds of the Strawberry Festival are used once a year for the Strawberry Festival for 10 days, 10 or 12 days. And there's actually like roads that go through there.
Uh-huh.
So when a festival comes in, they block off all those roads. That way the whole thing's wide open.
Right.
The rest of the year, it just sits there. They don't do anything.
It's like a state fair.
Yeah, it's crazy. And they have this beautiful stage with stadium seating. They don't give concerts there. They don't do anything.
Wow.
Me and Barb are like, they could be making all kinds of money here.
Yeah, rent it out. Sure.
Rent it out for concerts. And
Bible,
they don't want to be
meetings.
bothered. Yeah, they don't bother.
Jehovah's Witnesses.
We're going to go there because every year, Stingray Chevrolet, which is a gigantic Chevrolet dealership.
I've heard of that
right
place.
Here in town.
Okay.
They give away a brand new Corvette, a brand new red Corvette every year.
Nice.
And it's $5 tickets. So this year, maybe I'll buy like $100 worth of tickets and get a brand new red Corvette.
Then you're going to have to go on a diet so you can get in it.
Yeah, I know, right?
Those cars suck. The new ones are hard to get in and out of.
Barb will drive it.
There you go. Yeah, perfect. She'll jump right in there. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
So, yeah, every year they give one away. For like the last 12 years, they've been giving one away every year.
What the hell? Oh, I know what it was. We got this Greek church here by B. It's like this one here and the one in Bayside are like the two epicenters of Greek Orthodox Catholicism, And because my friend Gus, when he was alive, he was hardcore Greek. He would come in from Queens to the events they had at this church because they always co-mingle. And that's what he's talking about. But so every year they'd give away like one or two cars. So I went with him and, because he knows everybody there. And I'm talking with the guy and I said, I asked him like, this is back in the 80s. Like, how do you guys do that? It's like, he goes, oh, no problem. He goes, the dealerships are always on board. He says 9 out of 10, he's 8 to 9 out of 10 times that people never take the car. They want the cash prize. Right. Because if they take the car, you got license and tax and they already have a car and they always pick high-end cars. So it's going to cost you a few bucks, Sure. So they always take the cash prize, which is less. He goes, and we make that, we make that 10 times over in what we sell. So he says, it's really just a gimmick to get people in there. Says, you could take the car if you wanted it. It's legit, but.
Oh, yeah. Well, if I win it, I'm taking it.
Sure.
I could be cool to have a Corvette.
Until you get the 1099 for it and pay taxes on it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
What are you going to do? Right. Write it off under the business.
Okay. Yeah, you needed to move aquariums.
Put my logo on it.
Yeah, right. It's a Stingray, and we deal with fish, so
we use it for the business. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Take customers for rides.
Right.
So that's the second apartment complex that's blown up.
What the hell? That was gas, right? It was a gas
Yeah.
explosion?
Well, that's what they're. Yeah. And ironically, it was about a year ago that I had in one of my areas. I had it was a different part of town that a apartment blew up. Apartment complex blew up.
I was reading the comments, and somebody said that wasn't the first time that's happened. That it happened.
Right.
They were referring back to other times.
And it's funny because where that apartment blew up was where they're building the Purple Line. This is a huge above ground subway train cars that go across from across the counties into DC and so forth. It's the Purple Line. It's all 99% of it's all above ground that they're putting this stuff in. So they were talking about was that related or whatever. Well, ironically, the one that blew up this morning is right where the Purple Line stuff is being built too.
Wow.
Yeah. So don't tell me that was an accident.
Yeah. So of course they were saying that people were smelling gas right before it went, but that thing I sent you was from one of my neighbors, not neighbors, one of my customers' friends, kids of their friends from their backyard.
Right.
Crazy stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's insane.
You never know. You could be anywhere, anytime, and fucking building blows up next to you.
So, and they're right behind. I'm down there on Mondays.
Yeah.
They're behind some of my shops. I just can't believe.
It's weird because just at the end of March, a couple towns away in Rockville Center on Sunrise Highway, this gas tanker, the gas station across the street caught the video. It was coming down Sunrise Highway, and all of a sudden it just goes up on its side, and then you see this giant fireball.
Yeah.
It spilled 9,500 gallons of gas, took out a Lazy Boy store, a liquor store. Big mess. The road was closed for like 3 days. Just the other day, this week, down the block from my house, there was a tanker accident. My friend Jeff sent me a text in the morning. He's like, "Hey, this is right up the block," and I heard it on BAB. He said, "Okay," because even it boggled up traffic by me because people trying to find a way out. Didn't spill any gas, didn't catch on fire. The guy just kind of ran off of Sunrise Highway, cut across the side street that's by me, and hit a pole, next to a gun store and a tile store. So they had to get a crane in and to move the pole or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like 2 tanker accidents. And on News 12, they were talking about, 2 tanker accidents within the span of a month. And the traffic guy was saying, the reason is, he goes, everything comes in, all goods and services are coming in by truck. And Sunrise Highway is a state road. They got to use that. You can't use other roads. So it's bound to happen. It's odd that 2 of them within a month, but.
Well, the funny part was, I was in one of my shops, and of course, one of the local DJ guys was saying, "Oh, I was watching on News 4, and that looks like something in Ukraine and what the Russians are doing." And next thing you know, people are like, "Russians bombed?" Everybody's like freaked out. I was like, "Oh, I've had enough." I mean, dude. But I mean, when you look at that building blowing up, that's what it looks like. It looks like it just looks like something hits it, dude.
Sure.
It was like crazy.
Sure. That's nuts.
Yeah. If you just like the Pentagon, you'd see the explosion, but nothing came in.
Yeah, I know. Don't even start on that.
Gee, that was an airplane, huh? How'd that happen?
Yeah, there was no pieces
even
and parts.
In slow motion, you couldn't see it.
I've seen photos that were released afterwards.
Yeah.
And there was airplane shit on the grass.
Okay.
Right there at the front.
Yeah.
For years I didn't believe it. And
the guy came in with his truck.
I honestly don't. Still, I don't know if I believe it, but there was a documentary that came out like 2 years ago that had a bunch of unreleased.
There's only been one, John. There's only been one photo released.
That one by the gate.
By the gate,
right?
Yeah.
There's only been one photo.
There's other photos showing the building.
Right, and the photo and the building has no wingspan. It's just a hole.
Right.
Yeah. Right. That's the thing that I said. You kidding
So
me?
my mom went down. My mom and dad went down there, and I said, "So did you see the plane parts?" And they said, "What plane parts?" I said, "Well, plane hit the place."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. And I
Right.
said, "You didn't see plane parts?"
It's like I said with the Twin Towers, you can see the wing form going straight into the side of the building.
So the story was that the Pentagon is built with some fucking anti-ballistic concrete, and the whole 9 yards.
But it left a hole. It left a big enough hole.
But it left a hole.
Well, then the wing should be outside somewhere.
And that photo that they showed, that one frame of photo, looks like, which I don't know how that would lead to that other story about how this thing was fully planned, because what looks like a fucking bomb was literally painted in American airline colors. So I don't know. But what about the people that were on that flight?
Right.
I've never seen anybody come forward unless that flight was a bogus flight with a roster of people that don't exist, because I've yet to have a wife come forward and go, my fucking husband died on that plane.
Right.
Haven't seen that. So yeah, there's some skepticism there about that shit. But this documentary that I watched, I mean, it showed the light poles in that glide path laid over.
Okay.
You know, there was a taxi cab that had a light on top of it, was crushed. So something with wings came down super low and knocked out a bunch of highway lights. But, you know, I don't know. So you would tend to believe that the government would want to tell you everything about this because you want to look honest. So here's all the info we have.
You would think there'd be one or two eyewitnesses that saw something. There's always somebody that sees something.
There had to be somebody there delivering pizza. I don't know, whatever. You know,
they're showing the bombing of that nuclear plant.
That's what I was talking about before. Yeah. They bombed the nuclear plant. It's the biggest one in Europe, and it happens to be in Ukraine.
They also bombed their the port where they bring all their oil in. He's destroying the country. So now there's this other thing that floats around, but you don't know. These days, you don't know who to believe because it's like a giant X-Files episode that Putin is really the good guy, and he's taking out the cabal that is Ukraine, and all of these countries around the world wash their money through the Ukraine banks. This one world order deal. I watched this whole video. It was about 10 minutes long of this guy explaining how all of these countries want to have this one government that runs the whole world, and they're secretive and they wash their money through Ukraine, and Putin is really honest and doesn't want that to happen, and that's why he's there, and he's taken out that country because he's taken out the cabal at the same time. And when he's done, he's going to announce that and tell the world, here's the reason I did this.
And then Biden's going to have a lucid moment and have a perfect speech.
Right. Oh, God.
What about the clapping? What about the clapping comments? Yeah, what about like
getting comments on that?
I liked all the clapping moments, like Schumer and
like
Pelosi.
A bunch of seal. How about when Schumer stood up when he wasn't supposed to?
That's what I mean. And he looked around. Oh shit! Sit down.
I was commenting as it was happening.
My wife, Linda said to me, she said, "Did you see what John put?" I'm like, "No, I didn't see. I'm not watching. I'm watching something else." So she was filling me in on it.
I made like 15 different comments as it was going on, and people are still making comments on that comment about, he smells like piss because he's an old man. Just all kinds of stuff.
I was reading I read the Daily News and the Post yesterday, and they did an editorial, and they were just relaying how he's taken like the Republican ideals and trying to like make him his own now.
Oh yeah.
And
he says he's going to close the border.
Yeah, but
that was one of my comments. Right. That was like near the end of his speech. He was like, and we're going to do something about the border because we need to control this border. It's not right. And we're going to lock it up.
Flipping the script.
And I'm like, you stupid fuck. You've been in the office for a year. You haven't done a goddamn thing. And now you're going to do it? Oh, geez, because it's an election year.
But none of the Republicans stood up to clap for him, though.
Yeah. Everything's because it's an election year. Oh, those are really good.
The French vanilla, yeah. These are good.
Yeah. I like the ones with the chocolate, too.
Dip these in ice cream.
Oh, I never tried that. I had a really, really good Lindy's today. Lindy's Ice. It was pineapple.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Lindy's pineapple ices. It was outrageous. I bought a couple boxes. I got one that's got like mango, cherry, and pineapple and lemon mixed in the box. 12.
It's like only in the summer up here you can get like peach and pineapple ice cream.
Yeah.
It's only in the summer though. But I'll put the pineapple ice cream in the pina colada and froth it up.
That's a good idea.
Oh yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, so, this crap that's going on, I'm just so aggravated because to sit here and watch the news and to hear stuff on the news about what's going on, and we're sitting on our hands because everybody's afraid if we go in there that it's going to start World War III. And I'm like, you know what? Whatever. Go for it. If he's stupid enough to push the button, then Jerkoff's got to be stupid enough to push the button, and let's just dump all the nukes and be done with it.
Mutually assured destruction.
Exactly. Done. I don't think he's got the balls to do it.
There's a heavy onus on that, and you know what's coming.
Yeah.
But to do something like this
is wrong. It's just so fucking wrong.
Yeah.
It's
the
unbelievable.
problem is there's no checks and balances. He's a dictator, so who's going to stop him?
Yeah, you hear all different kinds of stories, and you're hearing stories, but I don't know how much is propaganda or not on our end. That a lot of these Russian soldiers, they didn't know that this was going to happen. They thought they were there to do training maneuvers. Right?
They got that one kid. They had the video from him talking to his mother. He said people were rodding the gas tanks on the military vehicles to dump the gas so they didn't have to drive them into battle. And they said they were like a gas because the Ukrainian people, some of them were throwing themselves under the tanks to try and stop them. And these kids are like 18, 19 years old. They're like, this isn't what I signed in for. Like, this isn't what I want to do.
No. So I'm saying to myself, there's got to be somebody that protects him, that knows that this is just fucking totally wrong, and just shank this motherfucker.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Yeah.
I need one of his KGB guys to have some religion for a second and go, this is just wrong, and I'm taking this guy out. Boom. He's gone. As soon as he drops and hits the floor, the military shuts down. And then this would end, And then all of a sudden, Russia can become like America. We'll go in there and we'll put our kind of government in because we're the new Romans and we need to rule the world.
Right.
Well,
that's what he wants to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. Russian women are pretty hot.
But but you hear all kinds of stuff, like he's shut off like all of their social media.
Well, he had said before that was his approach. He was going to shut them down from the inside, social media, communications, then power grid. And then once they're soft and, soften them up a little, then you come in. I mean, that's the way you do modern warfare, I guess.
Right. But he's even doing it in his own country.
Mm-hmm.
He took out a radio station. He took out a television station. He's releasing a video to school kids that's to convince them that what he's doing is something that's really, really good, that it needs to be done to get rid of the evil empire.
Propaganda.
You know, it's all propaganda. I mean, this guy does it to his own people, and we
Mhm.
know he likes to poison people and he
Oh,
kills
yeah.
his own people. He don't give a shit, you know. And they're saying that he's not worried about. They don't even have orders to pick up the dead soldiers.
Wow.
They're just leaving the bodies where they lie.
So I guess it's
Unlike every other country that goes out and grabs their dead,
I guess
he's
it's
just leaving them.
Every man left behind, not no man left behind.
Exactly. But the thing that I'm saying is, why do these Russian soldiers not get it? Why do they not see this and go, this guy don't give a shit about me. I'm just a
They
pawn.
really don't have a choice because of the way he rules.
Yeah, I know, but they're not in their land anymore.
Well, that's why a lot of them, like I said,
They can defect.
a lot
I'm
of
waiting.
them
I'm waiting for the tanks to. I'm waiting for the guy to open up the hatch and tell him, "Hold it. We're on your side."
Well, yeah, not only that, but a lot of the Russians are in Ukraine. They have family. A lot of it is so. A lot of them are the younger guys are like, "Hey, this isn't what I had in mind." They said I was going on a training exercise, and now I got to go kill people who could be related to me.
They say the whole eastern side is very Russian.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, and the western side is the people that don't want to have anything to do with Russia.
Yeah,
I just look at this thing and I say to myself, how can all of these countries just sit here and just let this happen? Somebody's got to do something.
Nobody wants to get involved.
All right, okay. Why can't fighter jets that are colored and lettered NATO go in there? Okay. Why can't we sneak stuff in through Poland to fight these guys?
Yeah.
How is he going to know if we send in a couple of warthogs, okay, which can take out that 40-mile caravan in about 8 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ, Putin. Well, go fuck yourself. That plane's been sitting there for 4 years.
Yeah.
You know, screw you. But why aren't other NATO nations? Why isn't Germany? Why can't Germany go in there and bomb the shit out of this guy?
I heard Germany sent Ukraine, it was small arms or something, but they charged them for it. Like, what? Really?
I don't know.
Fuck the fuck.
I just can't see that everybody's just sitting there complaining about, oh, it's really bad. We feel so bad for these people. They're dying by the thousands.
Yeah.
We're just sitting there watching this happen. I've never had a war where nobody's doing anything.
Yeah.
We're just sitting there. Oh, yeah. I got my popcorn. Here we go. One less country is what it's going to wind up being by the end of next week. There's going to be one less country in the world.
Yeah.
It's going to be over. He's going to run right through this place, and that's the end of the story. What are you going to do? You're afraid? Oh, I can't do anything. He'll start World War III. That's a lot of power that he's got over the rest of the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
When everybody says, no, I'm not putting my dogs in this fight because he's going to push the button. If you got to worry like that, then you need to get the fuck out of your job.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm sorry. If he would have pulled this crap with Trump in office,
oh yeah,
he would have dumped 4 or 5 Moabs on his equipment, and then he would have called him on the phone and said, "What else you got, punk? Don't fuck with me." It's insanity.
Well, the Taekwondo Association isn't honoring his black belt now. They're not going to let him be the official judge anymore. So they're sanctioning him hard.
Oh yeah, real hard.
Yeah. And everybody's stopping buying Russian vodka. So all you're hurting is the distributors and the people that make the vodka. You're not hurting.
The kid that works for me, he also works at a bar.
Yeah.
And they have a liquor store.
Yeah.
So they took all the Russian stuff off the shelf. And the guy that owns the bar and the liquor store was like, "Oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Everybody wants to boycott this stuff." He's like, "Take it off the shelf and put it in the storage room."
Right.
When this blows over, people are going to want their Stolchanaya and their vodka. They're going to want it.
Yeah.
He said, so sell it. 6 months from now, you'll sell it.
It's not like it's going to go bad.
No.
Put it in a gas tank. You know?
Exactly.
I wish.
Yeah, me too.
So it's
$200 a
utterly
week's killing me.
ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
I know it's going to get worse too. Today it was. I filled up my truck. It was $3.59.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
just right under
$3.59,
$5.
but and that was for because I only put the what is it like 83 or something like that. What's that low octane regular?
83.
83, 84. So then the next one up was $4.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the premium, the 93, was like $4.10.
Yeah, let me see. My buddy was just telling me.
I've never seen prices that high here in Florida.
In PA, what did he say he just paid? Let me see. 2 days ago, he paid $377.
Yeah.
And now he's, I don't know what it was now. Oh, it just hit $4 a gallon in PA. And it was $377 2 days ago.
Yeah.
But PA is always, New York, we have the highest, I think we have the highest state taxes other than California. But PA is always expensive. I don't know why.
Some places are.
Their gas is always expensive.
I don't know. Putz, he ain't doing anything about it.
No. Well, he said
I'll tap into the reserves.
No, him and somebody else said they were going to release like 100 million barrels or something of a reserve.
Don't even do that. Just start making oil.
Yeah,
it's about time. Well, it'll never come from him because he's senile and he doesn't have the guts to tell AOC to take your Green New Deal and wad it up and shove it up your ass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you know what?
Oh well.
If you do the research, America is like in the top 3 in terms of cleanliness. In the carbon footprint
without
for the country.
Doubt.
So
without a doubt.
If we want to go to like 5th place for a couple of years, it ain't gonna hurt nobody. All right. You want to beat somebody up for polluting?
Go to China.
Go to China. Go to Pakistan. Go to India.
Right.
Go talk to them. They don't give a shit. Open burn pits. The whole deal, So, idiot. He'll never do it. He should be producing oil like a fucking madman.
They were reporting here how the extreme left, the AOC, the squad, they're up in arms after his speech because it's too right centric.
Too centrist, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're up in arms like, good. Fuck you.
Well, for the first time ever, they actually had Democrats gave a rebuttal after the speech.
Oh,
That's never happened in history.
I didn't hear that.
Someone from the same part. Well, you know who was the first one that came on? That shithead Tlaib.
Oh, okay.
Who shouldn't even be in this country. Okay? She's such a fucking radical. Yeah. I lock her up under the word terrorist.
Yeah.
And she works in the government. She's a freaking terrorist that works for the government.
Oh.
And she's got the most radical views on everything. And she was browbeating the hell out of him. Like, oh, you're in the same party, bitch. Maybe you need to learn your place. Shut up. As bad as he is, shut up.
I think what it's speaking to is they're seeing that the right, the agendas on the right are gaining more traction in a bigger scale.
They're scrambling.
And they want to align themselves, try and seem like, it's like the older guys trying to seem hip with the young kids, trying to get some of that back their way. But they're never going to be centric.
No, it's too little too late. They're lost. They lost this next election before it even happened. It's not going to happen. But everything he was talking about, because it was supposed to be the State of the Union, that lasted for about 6 minutes.
Right.
And then it was one giant elect me next time kind of deal. And believe in what I'm doing for the next election that's coming up. And it was, oh yeah, we're gonna give all kinds of money to the police. And I made
fund the police all of a sudden. Oh, and that's what AOC went batshit about.
Right. I made a comment right away on Facebook. Oh yeah, well, last year you didn't give a flying fuck about the police.
How about
now
fund
all
the rioters?
Of a sudden you want to give them money? Why? Oh, that's right. It's an election year.
Right.
Same thing with the border. You didn't do shit on that border for a year. Neither you or that fucking hyena took a trip down there to go see what the fuck's going on. And now you want to do something about, oh yeah, we're gonna lock up that border. We're gonna use all kinds of new electronic equipment, and we're gonna get our border patrol people, give them a break, give them everything they need. Yeah, well, where you been for the last year? You should have finished the wall, and you should have put all that crazy electronic stuff down there, and you should be throwing people back on the other side just for the fact that they're coming through.
What was your take?
Then he does the thing with the drugs. Oh, we're going to take on the drug cartels and the human smuggling. All of the stuff that he's been getting his ass broken for a year. Now all of a sudden, oh, it's important. But you know why? Because it's an election year.
Right. What was your take on the CPAC, on Trump's CPAC speech?
I didn't actually hear it.
I watched that twice.
I didn't watch it.
Watch it. You got to watch it.
Check it out. I'll have to watch it.
It was very typical.
Yeah.
So, Brian, after watching Steve, what are you going to do to the Mustang?
Build it.
Do what?
After you watch Stevie, what are you going to do to the Mustang?
Oh, I got to finish getting this mess out of here.
Well,
I didn't realize they had, I learned so much, like we showed the cabling in the back to hold the rear up because of the Coney shocks.
Right.
Who the fuck would ever guess that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were long throw Coney shocks.
And the exhaust that came out, the chambered exhaust, that was cool. Only that 1 year. Then they went to the
kind of stuff that nobody would ever know. Moving the
Well,
pivot points on the upper control arm.
Right. Yeah, through the wheel well right into the. I'd like to see what it looked like inside the car because that's above the floor.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Where they ran the traction bars that were on top of the rear. They ran them.
Oh yeah.
Through the wheel
Well,
well.
that was actually. Well, it's too bad I can't get to mine, but that they came up through the floor. And where they had the panel that went, it covered that, but they also took out the back seat and put a plastic insert over top of that. So that's why you never saw it.
So that kind of runs right along the footwell rail, I guess.
Right. That was real close, and the side cover panels covered that, but they also had a fiberglass. They took the rear seat out for weight and put a fiberglass panel. So you never saw that part of the floor. It was covered with the panel.
And they used a truck shifter boot.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. And then
that's
on the front suspension, they raised the upper control.
Right. Yeah. They raised the pickup point. Yeah.
They drilled the plate in there and they actually lowered it 1 inch.
And then there was the what do you call it? The idler arm.
Right.
And the steering arm.
Right.
Give it
longer.
A better turning radius.
Right. They were longer.
These are the things that unless he describes them, you would never know.
No.
Never
know. Unless you knew what you were looking for.
Right.
Like I said, when you're looking for and where to go. That's why when the 911s came out, when the 930 slant nose, that's the one that had the nose that came down, and they were metal noses, hand metal, hand beaten out. And when they came out, it was always funny because from working on them, you knew when there was original pair versus aftermarket pair. And it was always funny because one of the big things was how they ran the wiring harness. And you see these guys at car shows, and they would have the cartman look, hey, look, this thing's, the wires ran the right way, But I would go over and touch the fender because of how they beat it in. You could, the way the lip was, you knew if it was real or fake.
Okay.
And they would hate when I would come over and start playing with that fender because they knew what I was looking for.
Yeah.
And that was the same thing, even like factory quarter panels on like my Mustang. The way the drain from the trunk was, the aftermarket ones didn't have that correct lip in there. And you walk up and feel, and the first thing you do, you go over there and feel underneath there to feel how the bottom of that quarter panel felt, and you knew if it was real or not,
Right.
And it's funny, there's some things that you just cannot reproduce, or you could not.
And what do you think about that ship that was carrying all the cars? It finally sunk. with the
Oh,
4,000.
the one that went on
the
fire?
Logic, yeah, the one that was on fire. Yeah.
And they said there was like they scooped up a little bit of an oil spill, not much, but they said there were like 20,000 gallons of fuel and 20,000 gallons of oil. But it's all down there. They had a minimal. They're trying to figure out what to do about it. But
yeah, it's a
They'll
mess.
let it rot, and then they'll bring in those salvage ships, and they do that deal with the cable.
Oh yeah.
They run a cable saw and they cut it in pieces.
Yeah.
I saw them do that with that cruise liner, that Italian cruise
Oh, the
liner.
one off Italy, yeah.
Yeah, the guy
That
went
was
to
close to the shore
he
too.
went close to the shore so he could wave to his relatives.
Right.
And then the thing laid over on its side, and then they let it sit there for all these years.
Yeah.
And then they brought in those salvage guys, and they did that deal with the cable.
Right.
And I'm amazed that steel cable cuts through like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah.
Just cuts the boat completely. Anything in that cable's path
Right.
just gets annihilated. And I'm like,
Right.
wow, that's some cool stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder who thought that one up.
Yeah.
We'll use a big steel cable and we'll wrap the boat and put it on a pulley and just keep dragging it.
Yeah.
And it'll cut its way through the whole boat. Like,
I remember before water jetting got popular, I watched a video from an engineering company where they were using like electric arc to cut metal.
Yeah.
The same thing they started doing with water jetting and plasma. It was like the first version of it. And even now it was like, holy shit, this microscopic little beam is cutting, inch thick metal.
Unreal.
Yeah. Cool stuff.
Dude, I got to tell you, I'm addicted to that guy, Doug.
Oh,
He's
I'm warming up to
so many videos.
I know. The only thing is, Brian, this is a guy he's a classically trained musician.
Oh yeah, I've
Obviously-
watched.
PhD.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I don't give a shit if it's a C or an F because I don't read music, so I don't really care.
I think
if it's
that's pretty cool.
It is. I'd rather see the reaction. Like, his facial stuff is cool when he goes.
Oh my god, the way he raises his lip.
And then he
You know?
grabs his pipe, sucks on the bowl, he takes a drink of water. He's like, "Hey, that's cool."
Guy's hilarious. He looks at it and he comes close to the.
Yeah, I would like to see more. Like, I watch other guys do reaction videos, and I'd like to see more of the reaction to the actual song or the lyrics or the music. And I mean, I know he's reacting to the music, but he's on another level. Like, how about on just more of a level of just what you're hearing? I don't know.
I'm just amazed that his ears are so trained.
Well, yeah, a guy like that is
that he could go, okay, this is a B flat.
Yeah, to a C, and he'll call the progressions out. And I was watching,
and there's so many things about music that I'm actually learning watching him, even though I don't really understand it. Where he talks about how it's a natural,
right,
and I'm like,
he throws out words I never heard before.
Right. There's a lot of phrases in composition of music that I had never heard of as a drummer.
So think of that. So think that's like Mike Portnoy knows that stuff.
Yeah, I guess he does.
And those guys know that stuff because they were trained in it, and then they just went a different direction.
All of these Berkeley and Juilliard guys that they know that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, he throws out terms like so-and-so progression or so-and-so thing. I'm like, what the hell is that, man?
Yeah, right. He talks about all this. There's all different progressions and then scales and changing keys. And then he goes, and I'm like,
that's why
I look at him and I say to myself, okay, he's showing the technical side of music.
Yeah.
And it's like listening to an engine builder talk about the technical side of an engine, of building an engine, thousands of an inch clearance for this and for that, and it's the same thing. It's just a different subject.
I don't know if it's because I love the song so much, but so far my favorite was when he did Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus was great.
Barb
watched it. She was like,
when
I never
the guy
heard this
starts,
song.
Doing the yodel, and he's going and he's hitting all the notes, and he goes, yeah, it's an actual progression of how did he put it? It was like each note progression up to like an A, and then
he said it was like a soprano.
Yeah, and then he said,
guy went
and then,
from
of course, when he does that like
bass
5
to
or
soprano,
and then of course when he does it like 5 or 6 times in the song, he was blown away. He's like, he did that like 5 times. Like once would be amazing, but he did it 5 times. So I
he
really
was genuinely excited over that song.
Yeah, I was loving that.
And he loves the Pink Floyd stuff.
Yeah,
but I thought it was kind of odd that he's like, I never knew there was 8 parts of this song, or I never, it's like, how can you not know that?
Well, he never heard it. He said he never heard the song.
Yeah, I've never he goes, I've only heard. I didn't know this. Like Shine On You Crazy Diamond or whatever had 8 parts, and he's like,
right.
I know this. He goes, I only know this part.
Because obviously, when he listens to rock, he just listens to a regular FM station, and regular FM stations for the last 20 or 30 years have only just played the popular song, and 9 times out of 10, if it's over 4 minutes and 30 seconds, they edit it.
There was an AM version of Inagata Davida. There you go. That says it all.
So he lives in the classical world,
right?
And when something of jazz persuasion or progressive, and he seems to really, really like progressive rock.
I'd like to see him do something like the Crusaders.
To relate to progressive stuff.
I'd like to see him do
Make
like
a suggestion to him on the page.
Yeah, the Crusaders or even Jethro Tull, because
he had Jethro Tull. He does thick as a brick.
Okay, there was this girl.
He's got a huge catalog of like 370 shows.
There's a girl I was watching who is a classically trained flautist. That's
I
her
saw
instrument.
that one. Yeah,
right. Yeah. And she was listening to Jethro Tull and never heard it ever. And she was just blown away. She's like, what he's doing is phenomenal.
Right. She was amazed at his playing.
It's not classic. He's doing his own thing, but it's, when to hear someone who's trained give someone like that credit, it just makes me say, good, I know I've been listening to the right shit all my life.
Well, then, the one that he does where he does Sounds of Silence.
Oh yeah.
From that like metal band where the guy's got this really deep voice. I forget the name of that band.
Yeah, I don't remember either. Yeah.
And that was really good. And he broke that one down, and that's like a really good rendition of that song because it doesn't sound anything like Simon and Garfunkel, really,
right?
If you think about it. But then on my sidebar, there were a whole bunch of other people.
Oh yeah,
that have done that, and there were a couple of girls that are actually vocal professors.
Right.
And they start and stop the song, and she's breaking it down of what he's doing with his voice.
Right.
He's relaxed. It's amazing how he enunciates the words. He's not putting them together the sloppy way. When he gets a little gravelly, she says he's forcing that air through the nose. And they know the technical side of singing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, this is like a whole nother thing,
Right. Oh yeah.
So I listened to a couple of those, but I don't relate to that because she's basically tearing apart the way somebody sings.
Yeah, but you can appreciate what she's doing.
No, I thought it was amazing the way she did that and knew all of these different things. She could tell, oh yeah, he tightened up his vocal cords and he's relaxed. And I'm like, how do you know that stuff,
Because you live it. Yeah. It's because you live it.
It's pretty wild. So I've been like, I keep grooving on Daily Doug.
The greatest thing is
it's unbelievable. My wife's like, you're crazy.
I mean, to me, the greatest thing is growing up with this music like all my life, and now at this age, I'm starting to see stuff that's so, like the minutia, that things that people know that I had no idea about my whole life. It's like, it's pretty cool.
It's pretty awesome. It is.
It is pretty cool.
And I love that stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's all good. All good.
Well, I got a long ass day tomorrow.
Do you?
Yeah, this week was a pain in the neck. It's the this is the first week without that guy that quit.
Oh, okay.
So there was a little bit of adjusting here and there. Nothing crazy. but I had to go help the other guy at this restaurant that we do east of Orlando that has 3 tanks in the restaurant, which is like overkill.
Yeah.
And it's like 1,000-gallon freshwater tank.
Wow.
An 800-gallon saltwater tank, and like a 200-gallon freshwater tank, also over by the sushi bar. So he was a little overwhelmed, but I told him, I said, dude, it's not a big deal. I go, you're just doing service on 1 tank and touch up on 2.
Right.
And the next week it's service on this one and touch up on those 2.
Right.
You know, so it's not a big deal. But I helped him out because there's one tank that's got some issues with some equipment that's just really not up to snuff. And I went in there and did some modifications. And I told the manager, I'm like, you guys got to spend some money here. I said, otherwise you're going to roll in here one day and find out you got all dead fish in this tank.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, no, we don't want that. I said, yeah, all right. Well, here's what's got to happen. So it wrecked my schedule to literally be out past Orlando for 3.5 hours. And it's like an hour and 45-minute ride to get there.
Wow.
And then it was about an hour and a half coming back because I had morning traffic going. And there was no traffic on the way back, thank God.
And you didn't even get White Castle.
Wasn't anywhere near there.
Yeah.
No.
That sucks.
Wasn't anywhere near there. Well, I got an apartment complex that we do once a month. It's a freshwater tank that has almost no lights on it. And they haven't paid me for January. They haven't paid me for February. Now we're into March. So I'm going to have to go pay them a visit. And they're around the corner from White Castle.
Oh, there you go.
So if I don't get a check by Saturday, Johnny Boom Bots is going to walk in the office and
Nice.
knock a couple of heads in. Everybody's got an excuse. Oh, yeah, they were doing the year-end stuff. I don't give a shit. Pay the money.
Whoa.
Do I show up? Does my guy come here and do the job? Pay.
Pay me.
That's always what I tell people.
Right.
You know, when they got it, when all these hotels or restaurants, when they got an excuse, I just look them straight up. Does my guy show up here every week? Do what he's got to do? Is your tank nice and clean? Are your fish all bright and healthy? Pay.
You got to get
End
the Jesse
story.
James tattoo.
Yeah, right.
Pay up, sucker.
Yeah. I tell them straight up. I'm at that point where if somebody's got a problem and they want to move on,
See ya.
see ya.
Yeah.
You know, see, you're not hurting me. I got enough going on.
Right.
I got an email today from a doctor that we take care of 3 of his offices. He wants to put a tank in his house now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, fine with me.
Good deal.
Yeah. And then I got a phone call from a guy. His grandfather invented the telescoping pool net.
Oh, wow.
So they got some pool company who was out in California. The father was running it. Now the father passed away. The son took it over, and he said he didn't want to live in California anymore because it's just a bunch of psychos. So he moved the whole company to Lakeland, the next town over. And he's got a big house, and he wants to put a big fish tank in it. So I was like, yeah.
Nice.
Super nice guy. Had a nice conversation with him on the phone. 5 minutes after he called, I knew I liked the guy. He was just saying the right stuff the right way.
Right.
So he's in.
Good deal.
Should be good. Hey, I got my new website running.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. The girl that I hired, she finally got around to doing it, and she launched it last night. So there's still got to make some additional changes and stuff like that, but it's It's about 85 to 90%, and she did it nice.
And
It's
what
got
is
like
the
an
web
an-
address?
Tampa Aquarium Service.com. She got a little animation thing on my logo. It like zooms in and blinks at you.
Right.
She did a great job.
Cool.
I'm real happy with it. And she's like,
Excellent.
anything you want to change, just send me an email. She goes, when you take videos or photos, you want to put them in there, she says, email them to me and I'll have them in within 24 hours.
Right. Nice.
You know, so now she's going to be working with me because I got to set up the Tampa Aquarium Service Instagram, I think Pinterest.
Oh,
whatever that
Pinterest.
is.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
picture based. Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of social media stuff that I have to do. She's going to get it all running.
Is she going to manage it for you?
Yeah.
Good. Good.
It's going to be on her server, and she'll take care of it for me. So I'm like, that works for me.
Good. Good. All right. Well, what works for me is going to take the garbage out and going to bed.
Yeah, mine went out today.
Yeah.
Let's see. What does it say on the bottom here? All right. Facebook we already got. She found my YouTube channel. So she's got a link to that stuff. Twitter.
Yep.
Instagram, Pinterest.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I already have a LinkedIn. And I'm like, what's LinkedIn got to do with anything? She goes, oh, no, you don't
Business.
understand.
Yeah, it's for business.
It helps you SEO.
That's how other businesses will find you too. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I have it. I have that already. I've had it for years.
I get emails every day. You're getting popular on LinkedIn. More people are looking at you. I'm like,
They keep trying to get me to go for the one where you pay.
right.
I got the freebie one.
Yeah, me too.
Not interested. All right.
All right, fellas. Brian, warm up that credit card machine.
Yep, gotta get ready.
Try to stay away from exploding buildings.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to. I'm off. I'm taking vacation days, so I'm off tomorrow. I'm gonna take my wife out to breakfast somewhere and have a big decadent breakfast so I can skip lunch.
Wow.
Nice big diner. What diners you got by you?
Actually, they're all over, but there's a place in Oceanside we've been going to. We went last week. It's called the fuck is the name of it? Mitchell's. They had a
Mitchell's
restaurant in Valley Stream, and then they had one. It was in Oceanside, but they moved it and downsized it. It's kind of like a good old American diner type thing, regular
Those are
diner.
the best. I love those.
With a lot of, they cater like later in the day ice cream and desserts for the kids and all, for me too. But
There you go.
yeah, we'll probably go.
See.
Last week we went and I had good old eggs Benedict. That was excellent.
Yeah,
Good
that's
coffee.
it. Go to the diner for breakfast and then go to Rollin' Roaster for dinner.
Oh, there you go. Right, rolling. I actually, you know what? You're not going to believe this.
He's got the menu right there.
I do.
That place is amazing.
I was just going through some papers the other day. This is like pending stuff, and when I have orders coming in that I'm waiting for that I never seem to file, and I have a roll and roaster menu. Yeah.
There you go.
I was showing it to Chris. Yeah, Butler. Here's pool stuff. I don't know how far back it is. Yeah, I might have moved it, but yeah, I got one. Well, that's Brooklyn. I'm not going to Brooklyn. We'll stay
Go to
in Nashville.
Nathan's over on Coney Island.
Yeah, right. The original.
Yeah.
The original. Nah, go down to Lido Deli. The Lido Deli is like Katz's Deli. It's phenomenal. The sandwiches are like 4 inches thick.
That'd be
The
nice.
roast beef, or the hot pastrami, or the turkey. Oh my God, fantastic!
That's good.
Fantastic.
You know what they make at Publix that's really good? They cook. Well, they got those machines where they cook the whole chicken. They roll
Yeah.
all day long. They got these chickens on and off.
Right.
They put them in a box. So they sell a ton of those chickens. They make chicken fingers. They got to be 5 inches long.
That's good.
They slice. It's like the whole breast.
Right.
you know, and they bread them with this really super nice breadcrumbs, and then, you know, and they cook them up, and they got them in the display, so you could just, you know, buy. You want 6, you want 8, you want 10, whatever. They got them, but they'll make you a hero. So if you tell them you want the hot one,
Right.
they'll take like 3 of those chicken fingers, and the guy chops them up into pieces on
Okay.
the counter, right? Then he puts them in a bag, in a hefty bag, and he pours in red hot sauce,
Right.
and he shakes it up.
Yeah.
So now the thing is completely coated with the hot sauce.
And then the bag melts.
No, right? So then what they do is then they take your bread, and they put provolone on it, and they stick it in that oven that quick melts it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So now you got this layer of quick melt
Nice.
cheese, provolone on
Nice.
and they have this bread that's got it's called 6 grain.
Oh yeah.
So it's
We
got
get
like
that
all
here.
different kinds of seeds on it.
Right.
So I would get it on that. They melt the cheese on it. He takes it out of that quickie oven. He opens it up, and he pours that bag of chopped up chicken tenders in the hot sauce. Then they take the blue cheese dressing and pour it over it. Fold it up, wrap it up, send you down the highway.
Nice.
The most unbelievable buffalo chicken sandwich hero I've ever had in my life.
That's cool. Sounds good.
Yeah, really. Publix makes some great stuff.
You know, Wawa too now has
Wawa's got a lot of good stuff.
Unbelievable. You know, every year we go to.
They don't even let Wawa in my county.
Really?
The 7-Eleven has that wrapped up so tight.
We don't have them here
crazy.
either. I got to go to Jersey to get Wawa.
Yeah, we got Wawas everywhere here.
Yeah,
they have
Jersey
everywhere. They have good gas. They sell the ethanol free.
Oh, nice.
For the boat.
And then Royal Farms is another one. Their chicken is their chicken is died for.
Well, Wawa's got like 8 different flavors of coffee.
Yeah.
When you go to the coffee counter, they got the containers of sugar, all different size cups. You get your coffee, and then in the middle, under the covers, is a refrigerated section that's actually got like freezer frost on it. And there's bottles. They're like, well, where's my camera? Like pint-sized bottles of half and half, fat-free milk, regular milk, chocolate milk. I mean, everything you're going to think of to put into your coffee, you know? Super good coffee. No, they don't have that. They do have those pump flavors if you wanted to put something stupid in like that.
Right.
They've got big donut case. Fresh donuts come in like every couple of hours. The guy restocks the donuts. They've got a couple of hot cases. They've got pretzels that have cream cheese injected inside them.
Oh, wow. Cool.
It's sweet cream cheese. I bought one about 6-8 months ago just to give it a shot. And I'm like, this is the best pretzel I ever ate.
Nice.
It's amazing.
Nice.
Bagels. And their kitchen makes all kinds of stuff. Sandwiches, paninis, mac and cheese. I mean, they've got a huge breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Brian's starting to get itchy. Come on.
It's insane.
John.
Yeah.
It's midnight.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't want to go upstairs and fix a sandwich now. Okay.
Yes,
come on. You got to have some willpower. I'm going to bed.
Get in the car and go out. Go pick something up.
I might have to.
Tell Habib you need
right.
You need something there.
Because now you made me hungry. There's no way I'm gonna be able to sleep now because I'm gonna have dancing little bagels in my head.
Cream cheese filled pretzels.
Yeah.
Cream cheese filled pretzels. Isn't that
That's
funny?
cool. I'd go for that, yeah.
They taste real good.
Nice.
Really good.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like
they got ham, egg, and cheese. They got a lot of stuff in there. I'm like, it's pretty wild.
Nice.
And the places are big. Really big. Not one of them is small at all.
I'll think it out.
And the part that's the funniest is it because we used to go to Wawa. It was a little place like
Yeah.
smaller than 7-Eleven, right down the block from Atco Dragway.
Right.
It was a tiny, tiny little place called
They all
Wawa.
used to be small. Now they're huge.
Yeah, now they're
Like
huge.
supermarket size now.
Yeah. And they carry Entenmann donuts.
Oh, beautiful.
They got Entenmann pound cake, crumb cake, coffee cake, Danishes, those really, really good donuts, the yellow cake inside with the hard chocolate on the outside.
Right. Oh, those are the best.
They
Glass
got
of
them
milk.
in a 2-pack.
Yeah, those are good. I was thinking about the box of 6.
The box of 6 is awesome. I see them here all the time at Publix.
Yeah.
When I go shopping every once in a while, I'll go shopping with Barb, and I'm like, Entenmann's chocolate. Shut it. You're fat. You don't need those.
You eat those as you're going through the store. You just eat a box of those.
I put it in the wagon, and she puts it back. She goes, "You gotta lose weight. Cut it out.
You gotta grab a quarter. You gotta go grab a quart of milk and go open a box. Like I'm gonna fucking chug milk.
We walking down one aisle. They had like Pop-Tarts. I'm like, oh wow, Pop-Tarts. She goes, what are you, 2?
Now they got Pop-Tart bites. Little Pop-Tart bites.
Yeah, I've seen the little ones, you know.
Well, how about that? I sent you both that picture the other week. The Drake's wall. It was the Drake's corner. I was holy shit! I just want to put a chair in here and move in.
I know.
Like, wow.
When we lived in Queens, I lived on Horace Harding Boulevard.
Oh yeah, Horace Harding.
Till I was 5.
Okay.
That's when we moved out on the island. And my dad was his bowling buddy had the Drake's route.
Yeah.
Right. And he would come by every week, and he would knock on the door, and he would drop off Drake stuff.
Right.
Ring dings. Remember when ring dings were like the size of a 45 record?
Well, they weren't quite that big, but they were bigger.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
They were like 4-inch.
Yeah. They were big.
Yes.
And then they came out with Ring Ding Junior.
Yeah.
And then a couple of years later, the big ones disappeared, and the Ring Ding Junior became Ring Dings.
Right.
You know, people don't realize that. And
I
used to bring
put those,
all the different Drake stuff. What's the one with that chocolate cake with the cream in the middle? They're kind of dry. You got to have milk with them.
Devil dogs.
He used to
But
bring
I would
devil
put both
dogs.
of those. I put them in the freezer. I like to put them in the freezer, and a ring ding in the freezer with that frozen chocolate, and the cream inside gets really cold. Like,
okay, kids, I gotta go.
He would always drop off stuff: ring dings, devil dogs,
Yankee Doodles,
funny bones, Yankee Doodles, all
Yankee
of that.
Doodles,
Drake
3
stuff.
in the pack all the time. Yankee Doodles, they were great. They were my favorite.
We had the closet had all kinds of Drake stuff in it the whole time I was a kid.
Sugar
living
overdose. He's
I'm not going to be able. You guys,
Brian,
I'm not going to be able to go to bed now. I got to go up and have a sandwich.
You got any Oreo cookies and milk?
Yes,
that's the way to go to bed. There you go.
I know. Well, I'm not supposed to, but I am now.
One whole sleeve.
Yeah.
A big tall glass of milk, and turn on YouTube and watch a couple of videos and dunk them.
Right.
Yeah, I don't dunk them. I put the whole thing in the mouth and sip it and let it melt in my mouth. I mean, that's
swallow it whole.
And it's all going, just stop right now. I'm done.
That's what you need. Oreos and an ice cold glass of milk.
You guys,
and you'll sleep like a baby.
See, people should learn on this show. You tune in the beginning and then you tune in the last half hour, or the last 15 minutes, and you get that end rush.
It's either that or you go to the refrigerator, you open the door, you pull out the drawer with the cold cuts.
Yeah.
And out comes the provolone, the Swiss cheese, the sharp cheddar, the ham, the turkey, the salami. You just get a plate and you just peel off a couple of pieces of each.
Just roll them up.
You go in the closet and you grab some Ritz crackers.
Okay, that's cool.
And you tear the cheese, you put it on a Ritz cracker, you tear the ham. There you go. Right.
Well, I'll tell you, that's what I got to do. When I go
that one you got to
now,
have two sleeves on those small ones there.
When I go up, the cat is there and she's on the kitchen table. She wants turkey. So I got to open a cold control. I'm giving her turkey, but I'm grabbing cheese. I'm grabbing like a piece of bologna. I'm grabbing some ham. I'm like,
You know what's hilarious? They're all sleeping here. Everybody, the wife is out, the dog is out, the cats, they're out cold, right? If I go to the refrigerator and I pull out the cold cuts, just the sound of those bags, the cellophane and the whole deal.
Yeah.
Before I know it, the dog is sitting there staring me down, waiting for cheese, for ham, for turkey, the whole deal. Give him a couple of pieces, and then he just looks at me, and turn around, and go right back to bed.
Right.
You can't rustle in the kitchen without him looking for a free meal.
Yep. That's my right now. Right now, I'm gonna go up, and Lucy and Riley are sleeping on the futon. I'll walk right by them. They won't flinch. And as soon as that light switch goes on, and even if I don't do the light switch, I've done it in the dark, and I've opened the refrigerator door, and as soon as that thing opens, I hear the collars, and they're both standing there.
So what if you like cough at the same time or sneeze and like try to mask it?
I've gone over and turned the sink on.
Oh,
so the water's running, and I've almost got away with it.
The shit we do.
I know, it's terrible.
You just can't win.
Nope,
it's unreal.
We're gonna go try it.
All right, guys. We're gonna try to sneak by the dogs.
So for what Lewis Lee missed, playing in traffic, Ray Guarino, Motormouth Radio, Chassis John, Tampa Aquarium Service, Matco Man Brian from Matco Tools. We'll see you again next Thursday. I'll see you on Sunday. And
you got it. All right, Ray. Johnny.
John, what do we say?
Thank you.
What does Chris always say? That you always say that he adopted from.
Follow us home.
That's right.
If you know,
unless you got a ham sandwich.
Unless you got a ham sandwich. Or some Wawa coffee.
Got it.
Yeah, I go for some coffee right now.
If you got ring dings, you can be my friend.